back to Celebrity with me. So I'm Nene, and today I have Johnny, Tracy, and Sean with me. And we are going to be recapping Love After Lockup. So this is season 2, episode 4. Wait, 3 or 4. No, it's episode 3. Alrighty. And so what we do is we give a recap of the show. I'll start off by giving some of my feedback, and then everybody else will add in their thoughts and opinions on the show. Alrighty, so and make sure you go ahead and like the button if you're in here already. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go each couple that appeared on the screen. So the first couple that came up was Rick and Radine. Alrighty. So Rick is telling us it's been 2 months now since Radine went to the halfway house. Okay. And so for the holidays, he's called it a furlough. So she'll be able to leave the halfway house for the holidays. Alrighty. And so he goes and he picks her up, and she we see a clip, like a confessional of Radine, and in this clip she's kind of bragging about doing bad things and being a bad person. So I don't know. I don't know quite how I felt about that. All right. And so then she goes, and at first I didn't know what she was doing because all of a sudden she was just digging in her pants. So I was like, is she trying to be seductive with him or something? But she actually pulls her phone out of the crotch of her pants. And she says that they're not allowed to have a phone or social media in the halfway house. So she has snuck and had a phone during this day. Okay. And so Radine ends up getting a call from Kay. And so we find out Kay has been Radine's girlfriend. All right. So, she's talking to Rick about Kay. And Rick is like, I said I'm okay with bringing a woman in when you need it. And then when you get your fix, she can go on about her business. And so that's the thought process that he has for a woman or for Kay coming into the relationship. But Radine makes it very clear to Rick that Kay isn't going anywhere. And then so then he kind of doubles down on what he kind of says because he's like, you know, basically she can have Kay, but he is not going to entertain discussions about marriage or having kids as long as there's 3 people involved in things, right? Okay, and so check it out. Okay, and so they end up driving over to her parents' house to have Thanksgiving dinner because it's Thanksgiving Day. All right, so Radine, we see her talking to her mom in the kitchen. She talks about Kay, she talks about Rick. Her mom asks her a few questions about things, and like where she's staying at that night. And she says she's going to go to Rick's house to spend the night because she doesn't think it'll be appropriate, for them to be staying in the parents' house, especially since they want to be sexual. So the mom was asking, does she think she's going to be able to handle having Kay and Rick in her life at the same time? And, so Radine, she says yes, she can do that. She can handle both of them. So then she starts a FaceTime call with Kay. Okay. And so she takes the phone into her dad into the room that her dad and Rick are in so that her dad can talk to Kay. And so Rick he's taken aback because he didn't realize their parents knew Kay or whatever, but the way the dad was talking to her, clearly there was some familiarity. Clearly they're familiar. I can't get the word out right now. I got sinus going on. And so he starts saying that's red flags, which it is in a way. It is red flags. If you didn't know they had this relationship with this girl and that clearly they talked to her before or whatever, so that had to caught him off guard. All right, so what were your opinions of Rick and Radine this week?
Well, I don't think it's the family's responsibility to give him information. I
Right,
mean,
it's not the family's responsibility, but I would be taken aback if I'm dating a guy and then me and him are talking in the car and he wants to do all this with this other girl, and then we get there and I see that there's clearly they know each other on a different level than hey, I'm just now introducing them on the phone. I think that would bother me to know. I'm not saying that the parents should have told him, but it would bother me to know that, wait a minute, how are they this close and they know her? That's what would have gotten me.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure because he was upset, like they should have told me, and it's like, no, they shouldn't have told you anything.
Yeah,
That's
now
not
I
their
didn't
place.
agree with when he said they should have told me because no, they shouldn't have. But
Hmm.
I get how he was caught off guard. But it wasn't the parents or the brother's responsibility to tell.
Well, she
Yeah.
has me kind of confused. She's kind of like Nicole. She at first when they first picked up, they were kissing, and then I guess he tried to, give her a little tongue, and she didn't like
Mm,
that. Like, oh, can I get to know you?
yeah.
You've known
Yeah,
him for
y'all been. He's been getting to know you for the last 5 years.
I know. So I was
So,
like, huh? So she gave off hot and cold vibes, and then when she talked about Kay and told him, "Well, I should have told you while I was in prison, but she's not going anywhere." Okay. And then he when he got to the house with the parents and then she was saying that she was going to be intimate with him that night. And I was
right,
like, I am so confused with what it is you are trying to do. So it seems
right.
like she's just trying to have both like Nicole and see what she can get out of it, except she's willing to sleep with the
With
dude.
him to get it, yeah,
Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
absolutely. Any other thoughts?
Yeah. Um, as far as the parents go, I was a little bit, uh, I didn't say confused or disappointed. Yeah, I agree that they, now listening to you all, I agree that, yeah, it's not the parents' responsibility to tell him what was the deal. However, I didn't like the fact how the dad was treating him uh, when he went up there to visit. Uh, when, what is his name? Got his name?
Rick,
Yeah, Rick went up to go visit, and so he was like, my daughter, this is my daughter, and she gonna come stay with me, and he didn't know anything about that. And then I'm like, he was like, how did he put it? Uh, Sober, being sober, she's very manipulative. She might trick you into doing something to where y'all both would, get back, fall off the fence or fall off the wagon. And that I want her to be around people that I know that is sober and a good atmosphere. But you don't have a problem with her dating the girl that's in prison, still in prison, because to me that's not a good influence on her. But I guess the safe thing is that she's still in prison, so he don't really have to worry about her being a bad influence on her daughter. But so my other thing was too, uh, when, like you said, with the tongue, he wanted some tongue and she had a problem with it. But, to me, if you all in that 5 year span of getting to know one another, because in one of his confessions, he was talking about how he can't wait till they get together and have sex. She boasting and bragging about her oral game. So I'm like, okay, so you don't have a problem with other pieces of the man body being in your mouth, but his tongue. So I was like, this don't add up to me. You know.
yeah.
Then you're saying that you got a girlfriend, so that's again, you don't have a problem with your girlfriend parts being in your mouth, but his tongue is just filthy. Oh wow.
Well, the one thing you actually can tell that they've washed it based on their teeth and their mouth. I wouldn't want to talk about
Nah, based off, now I wasn't gonna say
So,
nothing about
are
her
you
mouth,
trying to say
but
they need dental
man.
attention?
They
hey,
if
I'm
my
glad
teeth started
Johnny.
looking like that, I would not be upset if somebody did not want to put their tongue in my mouth.
Well, I'm
Oh
glad
god.
Johnny brought up the teeth because I wasn't gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't do it first. All right. Now, when she keep her mouth closed, she do look like she's 29 years old.
Mhm.
When she started talking, I was like, whoa, she looked like she about 45, 44. So the age fits when she's talking, the
Yeah.
age gap. So, and that I just thought that was, she do need to get some braces or something. Bring it back
She need
together.
to get a dental cleaning. You
The-
need all that. Oh,
You talking
uh,
about him? But you know something? It kind of makes sense. His teeth, when he was, but I might be jumping back to the episode from last week. When he was cleaning out the garage and he was sweeping up all those cigarette butts.
yeah,
Y'all remember
yeah.
that? And I was like, that is ridiculous. Who is smoking that much? And then you're just throwing them on the floor in your garage? I
Well, he
But
did
I
say
think that's
it was a
between
single
both of
girl.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think the roommate smokes too.
Hmm.
Because she said she had to do her part. She smoke, he clean. Uh,
Right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then too with the roommate thing, because last episode they went shopping at the lingerie place. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she
Yeah.
wanted five of everything. Now, to me, seeing that this episode, I like he should have went to Walmart and got
Hmm.
five of everything instead of spending $759 or 700 and whatever it was on
Yeah.
five of everything, and four of it's supposed to be casual and one was supposed to be you know erotic. So to me, that's a lot of money just to be
Yeah.
spending on a girl. And when he
Yeah.
spent
And
all
he
that,
even stated that he couldn't basically afford to
Really
do that.
afford
Put
it.
it on his
yeah,
card. Yeah.
because saying that he's not well off, but he's stable. And I think she's going to make him very unstable financially.
Hmm.
Uh, and then that was the problem too with the father, because they don't have a problem with the daughter having a girlfriend, but they have a problem with oh boy having a roommate that happens to be a girl. So and I was like, well, they just roommates, so there's nothing there. But on the outside looking in, they probably thought that there was something there.
But you know what? They could possibly think that because look at their daughter. She's dipping and dabbling in both ponds. So
Uh,
they had their reservations about Rick too. And
yeah,
maybe Rick, my daughter isn't the only one, you know,
right, right.
extra.
Mhm. And then too, and while they was in the car having a conversation about old girl, when she said that that's my girlfriend and she's not going anywhere for a while, and he was saying how I didn't have a problem with you being bi, and if you wanted to bring another girl into the mix, saying we can do what we can do with the girl, and then when we're done with the girl, she can go about her business. But
Hmm.
when she don't want it to be we, and she just wanted to be her, I think that's when he having a problem. He's gonna have a
You know
problem.
what? And I don't know, you guys tell me if y'all getting the vibe. I almost get the vibe that it's not necessarily she wants to bring Kay in to be with the three of them. I think she wants Kay for herself, most
Yeah,
Yeah,
likely.
that's what I was gathering what Sean was saying. But yeah, he totally she wants a polyamorous relationship in the sense that she can date and be with whoever she wants. And he told her, and that's what he said, I'm not into poly.
Hmm.
So it's like you either introduce her into well, even still with the three of them, it's only consensual though if they all three choose to sleep with each other. But that's not normally what their relationship is about. It's just the fact that I'm being honest with you and I'm seeing other people.
mm, yeah, and I don't think he wants that. He's gonna live with that. Cause then to another thing that I kind of saw when she came out and they got in the car, she has a ring on her left finger. I mean, a ring finger, engagement ring. Uh, oh, okay. And then,
Yes.
Birthday
I guess
cutie.
it's time to announce
uh,
Reese's birthday was yesterday.
Happy
So,
birthday.
and I guess she's not done celebrating. She still has her tiara on.
uh,
Okay,
mhm.
so birthday girl, did you have any thoughts on? Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. Are you done with the Rick?
Now you
She
do.
was talking about I didn't catch the ring.
Yeah, because she has engagement ring. Well, it looked like engagement ring on. So I didn't know whether
You know
he.
what? That's what I was trying to figure out, like what type of ring that was on her hand.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's one of those rings they made in jail?
Uh, I
They
don't know.
look
It
like
looked good. Because
real.
it's on the ring finger. So I'm like, well, me personally, if a woman has a ring on that finger, she's married or engaged to be married. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, I remember growing up. My sister could probably admit that my mom wouldn't let us wear rings on a ring finger because she said that insinuates that you are married, and if you're not, or that you're engaged, don't
Mm,
do that. You can't wear a ring
yeah.
on that finger.
Yeah. Because to me, that only attracts if you're single and you have a ring finger on, you only attracting men that don't mind to have an affair. So
All
you're
right,
not attracting uh,
right.
good quality men. So but so that was with the ring thing, and something else too. Uh, oh, all the red flags. because he was talking about red flag, red flag, red flag. And to me, if you see all those red flags that early in the game, yeah, you might want to run. Yeah, you might want to run. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least address it honestly. Like let her know. Like he just said to her that as long as, they got that going on with Kay, he won't discuss marriage or kids. But let her know, look, I don't want that period if that's not what you want. Because I'm getting the feeling that's not truly what he wants, but he's bending to be
yeah,
with her.
yeah. Which goes to what her father was saying, that she's very manipulative, so and she'll
Hmm.
twist you into doing stuff that you wouldn't want to do. So, yes, if I was Rick, based off all that, I would leave because I kind of feel bad for her, now, because you bring in a third party into a relationship that's supposed to be just two, and she's talking about I can handle it's up to them whether or not they can handle it. So to me too, that means that Tay, is it Tay, the other girl, uh,
Time.
Ty, she might have a problem with her dating other people too. She might think that they're exclusive, So and she just wants to be have her cake and eat it too, So that's all I got to talk.
All right, well, birthday girl, what are your thoughts on Rick and Radine?
So I actually kind of started liking Rick this episode. I don't know why. It was just like I'm like he's so innocent and so naive and just I guess
He's
he was like
humble. He's
yeah
he's
he's
humble
very
and like
humble.
yeah.
Um, so some points y'all made that I 100% agree with. I was thinking the same thing. Like, why did you not go to like Walmart, Target, something like that, just to get her the basics? I'm like, why would you go? I'm sorry, that was dumb, super dumb. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna spend this type of money if you take that to the halfway house. If
Yeah.
anything, if I was gonna spend that, it'd be for you to come to my house, and that's still gonna stay at my house. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that was dumb. Like, if you on a budget and you just a regular man and go to a regular store, like, don't go to no boutique, knowing that boutiques are expensive. Period. And no girl should have told him that. She should have been like,
Yeah,
maybe we should
because
go get this
that
stuff
was
from
something else that kind of bothered me about that scene because it seemed like I think her name is Robin or something. I could be wrong about her name.
the
But she
roommate.
was just like, yeah, it was like she was encouraging him to get this stuff. But then when he was at the register, she's like, whoa, that's like the rent or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
well, you was with him picking out stuff. You
Yeah.
didn't notice the
Like
price?
she's the one that picked it up.
Right,
You were looking at these tags. I'm like, I don't know what kind of women shops and I look at tags if you ain't rich. Like I'm sorry, if I ain't
right,
rich, I'm looking at all the tags. And I definitely
exactly.
looking at tags about I'm not going into a boutique to buy anything if I ain't rich because I just know how it is. And if I do go, it's like I probably can afford an item. And that's if I even find something I like, because usually I don't care for boutiques. And
Yeah.
when I do, they're usually too expensive.
Now, trust
But
me, I definitely check tags, and if the tag
mhm.
is not on it, I have no problem with doing a price check.
Yeah.
It's
Because like
because
look, I mean, usually those are like small businesses, so they of course they're expensive. Like
Hmm.
they can't afford to have Walmart prices.
Yeah.
Because they usually don't even have the stock like Walmart has.
All right.
But one thing that I didn't like either was when she was talking to the stepmom and she's like, so you love him? She was like, yeah, I have love for him. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Now that's messed up. Like this
Yeah.
dude sitting in there like in love, and then so I don't like her. I like Rick, but I don't like her.
Yeah.
But
I'm like Johnny said, I'm getting Deontay and Nicole vibes from them.
yeah,
And I
except
do feel bad for Rick because he seems like he's genuinely a nice guy.
yeah, I mean, cause he cried when when she was in the COVID ward. So I'm like,
Situation. Yeah.
yeah. So he was sad because he was like, man, I really was waiting for you to come out, even though it was just to basically take her to the halfway house. But it's
Hmm.
like, I mean, he cried. He had to get on the bike, like,
Then
the
right
last
off.
episode, like, go away, y'all, get out of here, go, turn it off. He was like, stop it,
Yeah,
But see,
stop
I
recording
learned,
me.
yeah,
yeah, so
get
I
these
learned a
cameras out of
trick.
here.
If I go into a reality show, I need to have a motorcycle because they can't keep up with that
No,
motorcycle.
they
You need
couldn't.
some
Right.
He was
privacy.
like, you know what? I need to catch some air. Get out of here. Go on now. I
No,
was like,
no.
leave him
Go
alone.
on out of here.
Him alone. Turn it off. That's how I felt on the other side
mm,
last week.
Right.
But so yeah, like I feel like he's a sweet, humble dude. And like you could just see, even when he just talks about her, talks about the future, how he just smiles. I was like, he is so sweet. I was like, you know what? He ain't for her. Or she ain't for him. No, 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 no. He needs to find him a good woman, probably
Santi,
his age or whatever. Like just a good woman who's
yeah, like Santiba's about his age. He should date
yeah,
her.
yeah. Santifa would be a good woman for him because she loves hard too. But I don't know how they can make that connection though. So, but
That would be
Santifa like
fun.
him younger than her though. So
And in jail, apparently, because
in
yeah,
the jail.
yeah,
But the tea. So I thought I was gonna be the first one to bring it up because Johnny and Sean didn't mention it, and neither did you. But then Johnny said it, so now
yeah. I was gonna
free.
leave it alone. I wasn't gonna
I
say
feel free. No,
it.
I wasn't gonna leave it alone, but I'm glad I wasn't the first to say it because I was like, dude.
Uh,
Oh, one thing with the kiss. Me personally, I took the kiss thing as like she was kissing him and everything, but then when he started trying to tongue her down, I took it as, "Dang, we right here. Like, let's go. Like, you doing too much right here."
Right here.
That's how I took it.
mm,
Because I don't think she has a problem with him tugging her down. I think it was just like in public, right there outside the halfway house, was like maybe uncomfortable. I don't know,
no, but
but
she made it seem like like
Yeah, but
she was,
Yeah.
but that was the whole thing was when she got in the car, she was when she did the little talk,
Okay.
that's when she said, um, "Dang, can I get to know you first before you tongue me
oh,
down?"
okay, gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
yeah, you
that's
gonna
why I
sleep
was
with me
like
tonight. So
confused
I
with
guess she
that.
just meant like get to know me at dinner before we go have sex tonight. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, people look at all that stuff totally different. Some
Yeah,
people think kissing's like the ultimate uh intimacy and not
yeah. I'm
sex.
not a big
So
kisser, so and I don't. I'm not a big kisser, and I'm definitely not a big shoving tongue down throats. So I just think the tongue just feels nasty. So I probably would have reacted the same way she did. Now, I ain't saying a tongue is nasty because tongues are great for lots of things. You know, you eat your food, you know. But but I mean, like for me, I probably would have felt the same way as her. Not like let me get to know you because obviously if I'm asleep with you, I'm not worried about getting to know you. But and then if I'm sleeping with you, I would assume I do know you because we've been talking for however long she's been in jail. So I mean, I don't really get what some when they say get to know you. That kind of confuses me when you've been dating this person for like to me, y'all had nothing but time to get to know each other in jail. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
And then for
so,
me, like when they say this whole, oh, I need time to get to know him, but you're getting money from this person. This person
mhm.
is supporting you.
But
Um,
even if you look past the money, like you're getting to know them. They may not be getting to know you, but you're
yeah.
pretty much getting to know them because most of those the free people pretty much seem to tell them a lot of. I mean, some of them are sneaky, but they seem to like tell them their lives because they're like, I'm here waiting on you and I love you and I want to be with you. So the ones that are being honest and faithful, I think you are getting to know them. Now you might the
Hmm.
ones in jail has a little secrets and motives because they're
Yeah.
using other people too. But like I don't get that getting to know you thing because to me, talking to people on the phone, whether you can see somebody every single day and not know them, but I feel like when you don't have sex involved, you don't have whatever, you get to know people better, in my opinion, that way. But I'm gonna come back to the tea because I did agree with Sean too. When he was talking about how the dad was being all like grimy to him when he visited him the first time or whatever. But then when it came down to them talking to the girl, he's all like, "Oh yeah, hey, cool, yeah, you know." But it's like if you want her to be around a good person, um, then why would you accept her dating somebody still in prison and being like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're so beautiful," and this, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but
Hmm.
yeah, you telling this dude like, you being shady at him, like, "Oh, this is my daughter, you hurt her, blah blah blah." You ain't giving that girl the same treatment. Like she the same way, she could hurt her too.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying, but the dad, he's missing a leg, right? His leg is
Yeah, he's
missing,
missing a
right?
leg.
But I have the feeling he would try to really fight Rick
Oh yeah,
if
yeah,
Rick did something. I
yeah.
feel like,
well,
yeah,
and then too, he still isn't comfortable with the age gap.
yeah,
He did say he didn't care for their age gap, but he's gotten to know Rick and he feels like he's a decent guy. But that
Yeah.
could also be why he's so discouraging of their relationship because he
hmm,
doesn't see what somebody his age wants with her.
hmm,
So that makes sense, I guess. But still, like, if you want her to be around good people, like Sean said, dating a prisoner, somebody who was like you and still in jail. You know what I mean? Like to me, that ain't the best fit. Cause yeah. But anyways, so back to the teeth. I don't even think braces are gonna do it for her. I'm sorry.
No,
Like
she needs a
so,
whole new. She needs a new mouth.
Veneers.
She needs.
so
Probably like some
he
veneers would help.
he
Look,
don't have
I
good
said I
teeth.
wasn't getting involved.
No,
I need to stop.
so he doesn't have good teeth. I got it. But I would take his tongue over her tongue. Her teeth are like pieces of teeth. I was like, where is the rest of her teeth? It's like a
I gotta
bunch of
remove myself from
triangles
the
in her
second.
mouth. I was like,
Oh,
where
I
are
gotta move
her teeth?
myself.
Where are her teeth? There's like a bunch of triangles. When she
And
closed
don't
her
forget all
mouth,
the black stuff.
I thought those were just missing teeth.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. So that's
No,
black
that's
stuff.
like black caked on crap, like decay.
Oh goodness.
But she
I,
Uh,
was
I
using
came with her
drugs,
teeth.
right?
Though.
I think the drugs may have did that to her
She
too.
did do meth.
Probably, but I'm like, why would the drugs taking chips of her teeth out? Like, or is that her teeth
That's
are
what
black?
meth does. Like meth will actually crumble your teeth.
I'm girl, get some new teeth because that hurt. Like
She
you are
looked like she
cutting
has what's
food.
that
You're
bad
not
breath
biting. You're
smell?
cutting the food. Her teeth are straight triangles. I'm sorry. I don't want to go in on them teeth, but like I thought when they showed a glimpse of them, I was like, "Ooh, those are terrible." And then when they really showed them, like she could be so cute. Like she could be a really cute girl. You know
yeah,
when they showed with
pretty
the
much.
makeup, when she put the makeup on and closed her mouth. But like when they showed her in the with her makeup on and her mouth closed, I was like, she looks decent. And then she talks, and I'm like, look at them triangles again. I'm like, I can't with them teeth. Like those teeth are
Uh,
scary. Like those are something out of like a horror movie. I'm sorry, like she got to do something about that. She has to. I would rather see her with no teeth than those teeth.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Them things were scary, and I'm mad at him for putting his tongue in her mouth. She could have cut
For
that thing
wanting
off.
to.
She could have chopped his tongue off with them razor teeth. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'm gonna get off her teeth because like them teeth are scary and they upset
But
me. And I
but
don't know how.
Maurice, you gotta understand, he's a daredevil. He rides motorcycles. You know, he's willing to take a risk.
Yeah, that's one hell of
Tongue
a
in
risk
his
to take with her head game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I would not do that.
He's
I
gonna
wouldn't
come
put
back
that in
with a
my mouth.
shredded.
That's what I'm saying. Because imagine if she just nip it. She's
It
not
ain't
gonna
gonna
nip it.
be
She's gonna cut
good.
it. It's gonna be a whole piece missing because them teeth are not for play.
No, they're not.
Like, them, man, she should certify them things as a weapon. Man, them things is
Dude, I can't.
serious.
That's funny.
I'm sorry. I ain't mean to go ham on them, but them things was like, you got your nerves to come on this show with them teeth. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, I know I can do.
and they got the nerves to be dating two people with them teeth. Like,
Well, think about when she's doing that. When she's, what do they call it? Cunnilingus.
I don't want to think about nothing involving those teeth. Those are scary, man. Do y'all remember like drawings of like scary like clowns and scary things? The teeth look like that, and I'm like, why? Nobody should have them in real life.
Traumatized by those teeth.
Yes, they scare me. They scare me. I don't want those teeth on TV. They should blur her mouth when she talks. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? She trying to get out of jail, but you know what? And I would feel bad if she was really acting like she want to like fix her life. But she made it sound like, well, being good is boring. So
Yeah.
I'm like, she can go back to jail.
And then the way she was bragging about trying to stab her brother, I was like, girl.
She was like, that was
But then
nothing.
when she saw her brother, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you've gotten so big." So I'm like, "Were you trying to stab a kid, or was this an older brother?"
That was my
Oh,
thoughts
that's
too.
too.
Do you have an older brother? Because that boy that came to the door, he would have been a small kid when
He
you
would have
were
been
young.
young. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, probably him.
I hope
Well,
not.
what happened
Because
was
she
she
should have
tried to
been in.
kiss.
Huh?
She tried to give him a kiss on the neck.
Probably.
It's like, why you don't bite my
Like
neck?
vampire coming her way.
Or maybe
Yeah,
she
so
was
she got vampire teeth on every tooth.
yeah. So maybe she was lying. Maybe it wasn't a broom she was trying to stab him with. It was her teeth. Maybe.
Yeah.
And when look, she cut that broom in half with her teeth. She ain't break it.
Now we calling her
I'm telling you, man. I just couldn't, like, when she came out, and I was like, yeah, she looked like probably like a little crackhead, not crackhead, but like, you know, like somebody who was probably doing drugs and stuff.
Mhm.
When she opened that mouth, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, now she needs to GoFundMe. Remember how boy did the GoFundMe for his teeth?
Yeah.
She really, like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
I would
trying to
even
figure out what
support
his
that.
name was.
I
Yeah.
would put a whole $20 in that GoFundMe towards her teeth. I really would. I would. I hope she sees it. Well, I don't know. She might come after me, but don't fight me, girl. Don't fight me. Just know I'm gonna support your GoFundMe. If you do it, I will support. I will, because that's nobody should live like that. Nobody. Like, you know, and some people have like a gap or a crooked tooth, and they won't smile. This chick smiled the whole episode. I was like, she ain't got no shame in them teeth.
No,
Nothing.
she feels she's
I ain't
beautiful.
never seen somebody so confident with teeth like that. That girl is confident. Like, I'm actually kind of jealous of her confidence, because I'm sorry. Like, with teeth like
Dang, birthday girl.
I know, I know.
Uh,
That's why I said I didn't.
you see, that what happens when you get old. You get talk about everybody and everything.
I
Don't care.
know.
I'm old now. Ain't nobody gonna tell me anything. Go on, keep talking about it.
I know. I need to be sitting on a porch in an old country house with a rocking chair, just going in on the teeth. I feel right now. I feel like that. The old lady.
I mean, you really went in. You said they need to put a blur over her mouth when she talks.
Yeah. Because it's scary, and it might scare other people. So I don't want people being scared like I was.
So, do you think they should have put up a parental advisory for
Yeah.
kids to make
You know
sure
how
they
they
didn't
do
go in the
the
room?
flash warnings and all that stuff? Yeah, they should have put a warning up, like, that there's some scenes in here that may be unsuitable for people who are scared. Because I mean, it really did give me like well, Slender Man ain't got no teeth, but still, it gave me like those creepy character
Slender Man,
vibes.
you really had to go there.
Slender Man, I don't even think Slender Man, he ain't got a face, but like, it just gave me creepy, just some creepy character vibes. I was like, oh man, because like, she's a regular person, but I didn't feel like it. Not when she talked.
Oh Lord.
But I did like her confidence. I ain't gonna lie. I would give her that. That's a confident chick. But I feel so bad for Rick. He just, I don't know. And the way he was just sitting there looking stupid, I was like, poor Rick. You know, like when she was like passing around the phone, and it was like, hey, look at the dog. And then when old girl was like, hey mom, hey dad. I was like,
You know the thought, but y'all know how I am about germs. So my thought when she was passing around that phone was, did she wipe that phone off with a Clorox wipe?
No.
I'm
And
like,
you
because that
wonder
was
why we had
I
COVID.
forgot.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yeah.
phone came out from the crotch.
oh,
Oh,
I did not forget. My eyes have been on that phone. When she was in the kitchen, I was like, where is that phone?
She didn't
That
even
phone
wash
better
her
not
hands
be near
when
the
she
food.
went in the kitchen.
and she already
And she
touched her
dug
crotch.
in her pants.
She just
That's true.
nasty. Just
That's true.
nasty.
That's why we have germs now that are killing us because of cross contamination like that.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Uh,
That phone was
Disgusting.
all
She,
up in your cuckoo.
yeah.
And then you passing it to people. Then you got it in the kitchen near the food. It's
And then that means like probably when she goes to the bathroom, she don't wash her hands or wash it after she probably touches it before she washes her hands, which is again
yeah.
cross
And then she
contamination.
probably don't even wipe herself dry. She just shake it off and then put the phone back down there. It's just a thought process when I see her doing that. The things that she might do.
Gosh, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Very nasty.
And the fact that they don't even know that phone came from there, because I'd be so mad
Right.
when I watch the episode. Like, you handed me that phone when you didn't even, you pulled that out your cooch. You handed
Yeah,
me that
and
phone
it was
that's
in my
sitting in your
kitchen.
kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing was, how did that phone was big? How did she not have a square coochie when she left? Like, did I don't even
I
see
was
where she had
hoping
to
she
get that
didn't
big
put
old
it
phone.
in.
Ugh.
But my thing,
oh,
I was thinking maybe because when she dug it out, she was pretty far, so maybe she flipped it up there a little bit, maybe.
That was a big phone.
That was
That
a
was
big
a big
phone because I
phone.
was totally confused. Like, what the hell is she doing? And then when she pulled it out, I was like, was that in there? Or
Yeah.
where kind of what?
Because
kind
that
of
would know, that was like a plus. Like, I mean, that was a big phone.
that's a big phone.
Well, no little regular smartphone. That thing was big. I was like, when she walked out, was her square shape or rectangle shaped, or like, you know what I mean? Because it's where did you hide that?
Right.
And it looked like she did come from like as if
And
it
yeah,
wasn't just sitting on the front. Like she's digging, like she put it from underneath. So I'm like, ew. It was, and then she didn't wipe it off or nothing. Then just started using it.
Yeah, she did.
And
So
if you
all
ain't
her
supposed to
vagina
have it,
all on the side of her face.
so if she ain't supposed to have the phone, why does she have the ringer on too? Because it started ringing.
I don't know.
Like that whole scene was weird. Like maybe she lying.
Mhm.
Like
But I
ain't
don't
no
know
way.
if,
If I ain't supposed to have that, that's contraband. I'm not gonna have a ringer on where my coochie be ringing when I'm walking around.
but my thing is, did she put it on vibrate when it's up there?
of course. Why not?
No, she accidentally touched one.
Look, if you
And
don't have it, there
also,
might
then
well have
all of a
to
sudden
You
she
know, you
knew.
might as well get some pleasure from it.
Yeah, then that thing be giving you that signal. Battery is wet. Battery is wet.
Okay.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I guess we can go on to our next couple, and that was Kevin and Tiffany. Okay, so y'all already know. I feel like Kevin is a scammer. He's on this show scamming. That's what I think. But so we see that Tiffany calls Kevin. Okay, so on the last episode, which we didn't cover last week, we took a week off, and so last week we found out that Tiffany did not get out when she was supposed to get out. Okay, and so Kevin, he's talking to her. And she finally tells him what happened as far as why she didn't get out. So she didn't get out because she had been caught fornicating with her prison girlfriend, right? And so I guess that's when they decided to reprimand her and keep her there. And so Kevin lets her know that he's going to come and get her. Like he's still excited to see her and is coming to get her. But she tells him she doesn't know, and it makes her nervous about him coming to get her. Huh? You're supposed to be in a relationship with this man. Why is this making you nervous for him to pick you up? Okay. And so we find out that Tiffany is now at the halfway house because now it's been a few days. So we find out that Tiffany is actually at the halfway house, and that she changed and she got a new ride there. So we we end up seeing who was Tiffany's ride to the halfway house. It was a guy named Curtis with a K. I've never seen Curtis spelt with a K. So I'm gonna call him Curtis with a K. So Curtis with a K is on the screen. He says he is an old friend of Tiffany's. And then while she was in prison, she reached out to him. He says that, she was the pretty popular girl that he always chased and wanted. And, basically she kind of called him up. So in this scene, apparently he hasn't went and gotten her yet. Because he's telling his friend, that when he goes and gets her, she's going to spend the night with him. But he does say that they have never slept together before this. But he's anticipating them spending the night together and stuff. Alrighty, so what do y'all think about Kevin, Curtis with a K, and Tiffany? Oh, and there's something else about it. They kind of look very similar, like Kevin and Curtis. Except Curtis looks a little older to me, but I don't know. Tell me your thoughts.
It's weird that he looks older because I think he's probably closer to her age than her boy is.
Mm-hmm.
But it at first it threw me off when it switched to him too. I was like, wait, who is this?
Yeah.
Like they never had like the other person be active like that. I guess they got lucky and got permission. But yeah, I really don't understand the intentions because it seems like what's his name? Kevin is the playboy, but for some reason he really does seem to like her. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if this is all fake too, but it almost seems like I really am feeling her or whatever. I don't know if it's just for the show so he can stay on here or what the deal is, but yeah, I'm like I don't really get why she just suddenly, or why, like what kind of game she trying to play or whatever. Because it's like you're messing with two people that you never even been with either way it goes. And it's like, why are you messing with the dude from back in the day? Because it seemed like, he said he's been crushing on her his whole life, forever. And if you're not gonna, what I'm saying, I'm wondering, is she even gonna sleep with him when he does pick her up, or is she still playing with this dude? Because she's been playing with him for years. So like, what do you say, 15 years?
Yeah.
Like it's been 15 years. You're playing with the, what I'm saying? She's been playing with him, and it's like, I really don't know what her intentions with him is. So I'm curious to see what she's planning on doing with him. But as far as Kevin, like I just don't know. Like maybe he's just here for the drama because he's gonna show up, dude's gonna be there. What's gonna happen? We don't know. Um, yeah, it's like y'all is for that. And I think they showed like a clip of him fighting or something. Somebody, right? At one point they showed a clip. I thought.
Yeah, I think it was like the first episode they showed a clip of.
Yeah, of him fighting somebody. So I'm assuming it's him, I guess. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
because they're definitely dangling this in front of our face like something's about to happen. But we
yeah,
know how we do us.
yeah.
Because with
It'll
Kevin
be the
scenes,
end of the season when this happens.
right, because with Kevin scenes, it stops where his friends are telling him he should show up and see who's picking her up. And then
Mhm.
with Curtis scenes, um, it stops with before he goes to the halfway house. So I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, y'all are trying to dangle what's gonna happen at that halfway house.
Yeah. Which again, it might be the end of the season. Messing with Lee.
Right.
Or they can
Yeah.
get a good 3 episodes into the fight too. So we'll get
Yeah.
a punch, come back, a slap, and then come back, a eye poke. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like
And
just
then
for
next one,
them
production is
to,
trying to break them up.
yeah. And
Keep jumping over
then
production. Yeah.
no girl probably leaves with nobody. Who knows? But yeah, there. I feel like, I mean, it ain't really a lot to it. And then last week they showed the girlfriend or the ex girlfriend who just still crazy. I don't know what her role is in this either, other than just drama. And he just slept with her. Like she made it sound like it was recent. So I don't know what the deal is with this dude.
Yeah, because the last episode she said we just slept together on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even like she said a week ago or a month ago. She was like Sunday as if Sunday was a few days ago.
Yeah,
But
and she said they didn't
I don't
like
like
him.
her because
Nah.
I don't know if y'all caught it in that episode when she showed up at the house and she was yelling and screaming. She said the N word.
Oh, she did.
Now, granted, I get it that you're talking to Kevin, a non-person of color, but you still said it. Why are you singing that at him? You
Oh,
know.
I didn't hear that, but I just
Yeah, they
don't like
like
it because
blurred
she.
it a little bit, but you could tell by her mouth, the way her mouth was going, what she was saying.
Mhm. Oh. See, I just don't like her because of the way she acting like you're not going nowhere. Like she seems controlling and
Yeah,
possessive. Like so, I'm not feeling that vibe she gives anyways. Because she's coming out like super crazy. So if she's not actually crazy, she ain't helping herself because she looked real crazy. But yeah, their situation. I guess that's all I really had because I don't know. Their situation's weird. Maybe y'all saw something I didn't see.
okay.
Well, I'm special. So when they flashed 13 miles away and I saw the girl playing pool, I thought that was the
Oh, you thought she was with that guy?
I thought she was out and already dating somebody else. I was like, oh dang, she ain't even in the halfway house. And then of course when they started zooming in on her, I was like, that don't look like her. I mean, dang, weight really changed her face. So I was sitting there like, wow, that's not her. That's somebody totally different. But that's what I thought when they did the scene. Um, I don't know. I think it's weird that you would keep in contact with somebody from high school that you never had anything with, and your first night out is with that person. Um, Instead of the person that you were supposedly having a relationship with. So I don't know what her game is either because I can't tell. With this one, they're not so open about who's been giving who money. So you don't know who's paying things and who's, their benefit or what they're getting out of it. So it
Yeah.
makes you wonder how who's giving her money or why would maybe she feels more comfortable going with him because she knows him. Maybe she's nervous about meeting Playboy. What's his name?
Oh, Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin.
But yeah, maybe she just like nervous about meeting him all together. And then as far as his ex goes, she's the She's a Looney Tune. I mean, that's the whole definition of crazy.
You
Repeating
know
the
what?
same thing,
I
getting a different
definitely,
result.
yeah, I definitely think that she's crazy, but I think he feeds into it. So
He
he
feeds
creates
into it, but
some of the
she allows
situation.
him to. If he
Yeah,
says,
she
if
does.
he tells you, I'm gonna go screw blah blah blah, and we're just friends, but I'm gonna come over and screw you, and you keep letting him, and keep thinking that it's gonna change y'all's relationship. That's on you.
Right.
He's telling you what it is. You just don't want to believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I think he enjoys this whole storyline that, oh, she's so crazy about me. And so he keeps some of this going because he can control some of this and stop some of this. If you know her friends work at a bar, why are you going to the bar? What's the purpose of that? Because you
No,
know
she
they're
got
going to
that.
tell her.
Yeah,
She
You know
no,
got
that.
that from off the post
she got
because
that
he
off on
posted.
her own. And she stops him to pop up in places where he is. So I don't know that that's necessarily him.
Well, some of it because he did say he goes to bars that her friends work at, so he thinks they're calling her. Of course they are. Why are you going to those bars? Are you trying
But
to tell
I
me
should
there's
be
no
able to
bars
go
where
to
her friends
whatever
don't
bar
work?
without knowing that you're sitting there spying on me.
Say that again.
I said I should be able to go to any bar. Who
But if
cares?
you have a
You shouldn't be able to
stalker,
spy on me.
but if you have a stalker, why would you go there? I'm not going. I don't know. I'm not going there. Yes, should I be able to go to any bar or restaurant I want to without worrying about a stalker? Absolutely. But at the same token, if I know my ex or somebody else either is gonna let my stalker know that I'm there, I'm not gonna keep going. And then complain about her showing up there. If you know they're telling on you, stop going. That's just my thoughts on it. That's the with dating like people at work. You know,
She on
I
that.
gotta go to work. I can't avoid going to work, but you could have avoided dating somebody at work. You know,
Yeah, she on that. If I can't have you, nobody can. It's crazy.
right? And I'm gonna show up to make sure you're not with any other females, which you can't stop him anyway. But I think that's the trip that she's on. But I think he plays it up because he's scamming us, like him and his friend. That's what I think. Okay, so I inadvertently skipped Taylor. Okay, so there. Wait a minute, did everybody speak on Kevin and Tiffany? Sean, I don't think you
Yeah, yeah. Uh, oh, okay. Uh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I
did. You
gotta
have
figure
nothing
out
to
something.
say about him?
No, no, I gotta figure something out going on. Having no technical difficulties. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so we had Taylor and Chance. Okay. So we see um well last episode Taylor had stopped to pick up Chance and they dragged out this pickup onto a whole nother episode. Alrighty, so they're talking and they're in the car driving home and she asks Chance, how does he think the girls will behave? My whole thought process when she said that, I'm thinking, those are your kids. You should probably be telling him how you think they're gonna behave. How are you gonna ask a stranger? But whatever. So he's like, yeah, I think everything is gonna be cool and good. And then she's like in the confessional, yeah, they can't wait to have a daddy and la la la. And I'm just like, here we go. Okay, so when they arrive at the house, Bobby is at home. And so Chance, of course, he does this whole corny move. Oh, I thought you were the little sister, but you're the twin, huh? And he's like, yeah, I'm coming in. I'm not trying to break up anything. And Bobby, she's nice. But then when she has her little confessional, she's like, oh, no, I heard him talking about he wants to put me in the garage. So it's like, see, you sit up here being fake and you don't even realize this girl already know what your plans are for her. Okay. And so then something happened that I didn't necessarily agree with. So Chance, he's like, hey, where are the girls at? So the sister tells, or somehow he figures out where the girls are. And he just goes and walks into the room. There was no knock, no excuse me, like, hey, I'm about to walk into the room. Like, you being a man, especially a man that's not those kids' father, you should not be walking into a little girl's room without acknowledging you're coming into that room. They could have been naked, anything could have been going on. I always think that a man should announce his presence before he goes into a little girl's room. That's just me. Even if that's your quote unquote master bedroom, and announce it because you don't know what's going on in there. All right, and so we also see that Chance he goes and he asks Taylor, like, are the girls going to bed or whatever? And she's like, well, they don't seem to want to go to bed or whatever. And so he wants to have sexy time with her. And so he's like, yeah, well, I know where a spot where we can go. So they go into the closet and they get their freak on in the closet, right? All right. And so I guess it's like the next day, and Taylor's on her confessional, and she's saying that that the sex was great. She has no complaints about his size, and so then, like I said, later, I guess it was that same day, she walks into the kitchen and she tells her sister, hey, I'm about to go pick up the girls. Um, and, the sister's like, well, when you get back, I'll be gone. And so she tried to ask her sister, like, what are you going to be doing or whatever? But the sister's got her own plans in her own life. I mean, here's what it is. So she says she's going to be gone or whatever. She doesn't really tell her where she's going. All right. So we see them heading over to the school. And so well, apparently they were walking to the school. So I was like, I wonder if she's going to have Chance walk up to the school with her. I really couldn't tell how it played off, if maybe they were just walking to a bus stop. But the kids came running over and the mom was with them. So I'm thinking maybe they got off of a bus and they had a little wagon or whatever to pull the girls in the wagon. Right. And so they get back to the house, and Chance is playing with the girls in the front yard. And so the youngest one, he's throwing her up in the air, and she's giggling and squealing and laughing. She's having a good time. It's a cute little scene. But then the middle daughter, you can tell she's feeling some type of way. And she kind of runs off and goes into a corner by herself. And you could tell she was feeling some type of way, which I can only imagine, like the youngest one still has her father, who she said like comes and gets the little girl all the time. And then the middle girl, her father is gone. So she doesn't have a father figure in her life. So she probably felt some type of way looking at her like she has her father. And then now this new father figure for us is playing with her more than she's playing with me. So I can kind of understand. All right. So Taylor had helped Chance get a job through one of her friends. And so, as part of the job, they had to run his license because he's going to be driving. All right. And so, when they ran his license, which they said he had gotten that same day or the day before, his license came back suspended for outstanding tickets. And so, you know, I was about to call him Taylor. So Chance gets on the computer and he's trying to figure out what's going on with his license. So he's having a hard time finding the information that he needs. So Taylor walks over to him and she's trying to help him. But it's like, and I get it because something happens, all of a sudden you get thrown off the loop that you're on. But he was kind of being snippy and a little bit mean to her, and it's like you don't have to be mean to her because you can't figure out what it is you're trying to figure out. Calm down some, and listen to what she's trying to say. Add your input to it, but you didn't have to talk to her like that. Like red flag, red flag. But you guys tell me, what are your thoughts on Taylor and Chance?
Yeah, my thing with that, because going back to last week's episode, when she had went to pick him up at the prison,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was out there waiting for him the whole time.
Yeah.
I was just there because he finally gets in the car and goes to kissing, and he's like, tongue, give me some tongue, or I'm going to get out. And I'm like, okay, then get out. Dude, you just got out of prison. So come on, quit tripping. Then from there, uh, this is a sidebar on the car thing, because I was like, well, if she was sitting there the whole time and the car was running, then why the car wouldn't start when it started, when it was just time to start to go. So I guess she must was sitting there running the battery the whole time. Because I'm like, why would you sit there and have the windshield wipers going? You ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere. Just turn the car off or keep the car running, one or the other. So so that right there just thought me. I found that just strange that the car
Yeah.
wouldn't start back up when it was time to go. And then instead of being concerned about getting up out of there, it's like, oh, I got a million things I can think of that we can do right now in the car. It's like, oh, go get a room. And two, I agree. Why would you ask him how you think the kid's gonna feel about you coming home? Like, yeah, them your kids, so you should know more about your kids than him. So then, like you said, you get to the house, and I just thought it was funny that he's like, "Oh, I thought you was the babysitter." That's something you normally tell to an older woman. Oh,
Mm,
he wanted to say, "Oh, I thought you was the kid's sister," type thing. You make the other one
yeah.
blush, but he couldn't because they're both the same age. And so you're talking about the babysitter, and that was all fake. And you're talking about I'm not here to break up the family. I'm all about family. Because that's like how yeah, that just was just too fake for me. Because you over here talking to a girl saying that I'll put you in the garage, I'll build a garage and build up a room and she can go in the garage. And but you're telling her face, I'm all about us being a family, we can all do stuff, and that I think that she says that you the glue and you help work things out, that she couldn't
Right.
do stuff.
Right,
So
and that was something else that I meant to bring up. It was interesting that he had said that when on the ride home he was like, "Yeah, has is Bobby working? Is Bobby doing la la la?" You know, it's like
yeah,
you're really going in on her sister. Do you have a job yet, or are you going to be able to maintain this job that Taylor found for you?
right.
It just was giving me creep vibes. It's like,
Yeah,
I think you're doing a little too much. Sorry.
yeah, because also too with Taylor, she gives me that she gives off missed messages, because she
Oh
probably
yeah.
was
Oh
shooting
yeah.
that too. Oh boy, saying that, oh, my sister don't do nothing. She's bumming off of me, but then come around and say I can't do nothing without my sister. I need my sister. My
Hmm.
sister's very important to me in my life. So he has to got that from somewhere for him to
Right.
act way towards this, to think that of the sister. So
Yeah, exactly. She had to have said something to him. And then she apparently also told him there was times she wouldn't have been able to go to work without her sister.
right,
But we're cool with him putting her out in the garage or whatever. It's
right.
just Taylor gives me very much so a pick me vibe. She's a pick me. And then he's a little controlling to me.
Yeah, yeah, because that too, because with the whole the computer scene, how he was telling her, well, at first she was trying to help, she was gonna volunteer to help him, and he's like, no, no, I got this, and then he's like, well, okay, you try to figure it out, but maybe I didn't do something, like you can figure it out, and then she off on the, I guess in confession, was saying how, or off on the side, whatever she was, saying how the way he was acting was, he's a little grumpy or upsetting or whatever he was. I was like, no, sis, that's part of that controlling vibe that he has, that you think
Yeah,
was so attractive in the beginning. So
right.
you're going to see that that's not as attractive as you thought it was.
Right, because she even said, I wish he didn't get so mad about simple things. Like, that wasn't a simple thing. Like, I get why he was upset because he's probably going to get fired from this job if he can't clean this up. But
Mhm.
at the same token, it's okay to get upset about that, but you shouldn't have taken it out on your woman. Because he did apologize to her the first time. And then when she was sitting in the chair, he apologized, but then he did it again.
Yeah. So she's gonna see that a lot of the stuff that he did while he was in prison, that she thought was cute and sexy,
Yeah.
gonna see up front that no, that's not as cute and sexy as you thought it was going to be. And then another thing that I thought was funny, how when he was talking about how he wound up in jail the last time, he just went to the bank and was talking to the woman, flirted with her, and all of a sudden she just gave him money, and now he's going to jail. I was
Yeah.
like, dude,
That's not what happened.
yeah,
That
like
is
you
not
gave
what
her,
happened at all. I don't, I wasn't there, but I don't believe that that's what happened.
nah, because he had slipped her a note, and
Yep.
and she read the note, and she gave up the money. Now hopefully she had called her manager, and and they wound up arresting him when he got out the door. But it sounded that funny because I was just watching that the dude, Black Panther um, director, how he slipped a note,
Yes.
and they made him stand still while she went and talked to the manager, and the cops was there within minutes. Oh boy managed to get the money, and he get to go outside. So I
Yeah,
just
and then this is my thing. If I know I didn't have that type of money in my account, or that this bank teller just gave me this large sum of money, am I going to grab it and then run out? Or am I going
right,
to say, wait a minute, that's not what I was here for? I just gave you a check for $200. Why aren't you cashing my check? I didn't ask for all of this.
right, right. So yeah. So Chance is going to break up that family, and the sisters want to. Good thing that she do have a job and she do have a life where she can go out, because the cameraman, how they would say something about the sister and then they would cut to her and she was sitting down on the sofa, trying to make it seem like she's not doing anything. She's no good. She's just lazy because she just sit on the sofa and that's all she do the whole time. So I was like, okay, nah, that wasn't a good vibe. And then the other thing that really, really, really bothered me the most of all was that those kids was at the table eating and they didn't finish their meal. They talking about, okay, let's go to bed now. I'm like, y'all still got all this food on the table. At least let them kids eat their food before y'all go to bed. Or they could have used that as sex time. Let them kids eat their food and y'all go run in the back and do what y'all gonna do. So
Yeah.
but we was wasting that food.
Now, y'all know me. Um, y'all know I had to say something about this. Did you notice the little girl standing on the table as the plates were on the table and she was
Yes,
jumping around and kicking her feet? I was disgusted. I wanted to take all those plates off the table and dump them.
yes, yes. And to
She
me,
would have got a spanking in a black home.
I know.
I was just glad her feet weren't dirty.
that.
I was just thoroughly disgusted. I was like, that's
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like, where they do that at? Because I ain't never seen no mess like that. Kid just on the table, stomping around. They're like, hee hee hee, and pull it
Yeah,
down. I'm like, nah.
yeah. She
Mhm.
river dancing on the dinner table with your
Mhm.
dinner on the table.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Because
they
see
thought it
now,
was cute. That little one might be out of control.
Yeah, I think she's a little spoiled.
yeah.
But
And what you call it probably do have them in control because they was nowhere to be seen when the sister was just sitting in there.
She's like, y'all get y'all little bad selves in that room.
There
yeah,
she got.
she looked like the auntie that would cuss, like, get your asses in that room and be quiet.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And two, that's another thing. If he wants to, he should get closer to Bobby, and then that way Bobby can watch the kids while they go out and do their thing.
Yeah,
Because obviously she's doing something because she was able to go drive to pick you up from out of prison. She didn't have to take her kids with her. So you know. But yeah, that's all I got.
okay. Any other thoughts
Yeah.
on?
I So I hope that she is being careful because I mean she's not being careful, I guess you could say, because she's already moved him in. But just that the controlling side and stuff.
Yeah,
If she's noticing things that she don't really like, now is the time to get out of this because
yeah,
the kids are getting attached to him even more. So it's like she said, there's more hearts involved now. So now she got to understand, like you done brought this man in. So whatever he do, whether he start beating her butt left and right, she might have to start taking it because she didn't like created this false family for her kids. When I really think like even with all of them, like I don't think that parole into your house is a good thing because you don't really know them like how they live and everything yet. So when you bringing them to your house, that's a huge adjustment, and it's a huge adjustment for everybody. And I do like what Sean brought out because I noticed it, but it didn't really click in my head how they are trying to make the sister seem like she don't do nothing because like she went from the couch and then at one point like, almost like she slammed her door, so they making it like she mad about something or jealous or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
But you know what? Taylor said that. Said that. Yeah, my sister may be a little jealous. I'm like, when you got a dusty dude in your house, ain't nobody jealous. Ain't nobody jealous of that. What do you have going on for your sister to be jealous?
yeah, the
Because I'm sure
sister.
if the sister wanted to find an unemployed man to come live with her, that would be very easy to do. Nobody's
Yeah,
jealous of this that you got.
yeah, and she I don't know. I guess she was looking at, and then I mean, I looked at it too, but I think it was just all about that first day of freedom. How he handled the situation with the battery. He wasn't mad about it. He was like all happy at the camera, all dancing around, and just she's like, wow, he stayed cool under a sucky situation because that does suck. That you didn't sat here and ran out the battery, and it's time to go, and we still sitting here in front of the jail. Like I'd be like, look, I want to see this place. What you doing? But obviously she see now he does not handle stressful situations well, and rightfully so. That is a stressful situation, and like you said, he has the right to be upset about it. But the way he was getting snappy, I'm like, dang dude, this is like day two. You already showing your true snappy colors. It's like, all right, now that's not a good sign when somebody already has that, and like Sean said, you asked for this controlling this because you said it was cute and you loved it. So how he changes and acts is kind of what you asked for. You thought it was cute, so I guess she gonna find out real quick. And then I guess like I had saw the little girl running up. I was like, that was just real silly because he after he played with the little girl, he was coming back to her, but she just was already in her mood and took off running. And
And her feelings, yeah.
yeah, and I guess I get it now. I mean, if I look at it the way you said it, like, yeah, she already got a dad, so why is she, what I'm saying, acting like she getting all the attention? But it's probably because she the baby. But um, it's I don't know, like, and then she stayed in her feelings for a long time too, because he was even like, "Let me pick you up, and then I want to throw you in the air." She's like, "No, like still trying to be a baby about it." I'm like, "Look, now, some of that you got to stop." Like he is trying, and he's doing it. I feel like he's doing outside of just busting into that room, like you said. He's doing a good job with the girls. Like I really do feel like if it don't work out, he might be more hurt to lose the girls than he do for losing her. It seemed like he's getting a little bond with them, and that part is the only part that seemed genuine to me. Because the way he was talking to the sister, yeah, that was super fake.
Hmm.
And I think he does like a girl because she seems really sweet. But I don't
His
know that.
sister?
It's, no, the girl.
Oh,
'Cause the way she
oh, the
talks.
little girl.
No, the girlfriend. She has a little sweet voice, and she's always giggly and stuff, and seems pretty happy a lot. You know what I mean? And so
That
I
giggly
think
voice, it just irritates me though.
yeah, it is irritating, but I think he likes it, and he
Yeah,
and he sees like the whole little family aspect. And I think he thinks it's cute. He just don't like the sister being part of it. But I'm with Sean. Like, man, you get in good with the sister, and then she'll help y'all out, babysitting and all that, because you're gonna need a
yeah,
babysitter. That's 3 kids.
yeah.
But that's all I got.
All right, so Johnny, what you got for Chance and Taylor?
I think y'all covered everything.
Okay. All right, so then Indy and Harry. I was always tempted to save them for last because I feel like there's a lot of
Probably
unpacking.
should because they are complicated.
Very good. So Indy, we see Indy and Harry. They're at the hotel room, and Harry's sister calls and was like, "Hey, your probation officer called, about you or whatever." And he said you were supposed to have reached out to him after you got out. And so Harry does call his probation officer. I might be mixing in a part of the last episode because I watched them back to back, so y'all excuse me. And so he calls his probation officer, and so he talks to him. The probation officer tells him, "You're supposed to be at your sister's house. If you are not there, then you could be sent back to the halfway house." So he was like, he was saying that Harry could get him. I didn't quite catch if he said he was going to get an ankle monitor or he could get an ankle monitor. And he was like, and you can't be spending the night out with that girl that you met in the jail or whatever and is your pen pal. And so Indy immediately started feeling some type of way because she felt like his PO was calling her his pen pal. But that's not the way I necessarily took that because we know Harry had been talking to other women, so he could have actually been talking about another girl. Because, but I don't know. But Harry did run with it, like, yeah, the PO was talking about her, but that's to be expected. Of course, he did say that. All right, and so they go back to the sister's house, and so Indy apologizes and is like, can I still stay here with you? And the sister is like, yes, you can stay here. And Indy took a lot. Well, she took the majority of the responsibility for him not call because she said she could have called the sister, which is true. She could have called the sister like, hey, we're still out doing stuff. But it was funny because Harry didn't take any responsibility for not letting his family know that, hey, I'm going to go get burgers. I'm doing la la la, and they were gone for a long time, and for them to be waiting for them until 3 in the morning is crazy. All right, and so Harry, is trying to talk to his sister to talk it out, but they just end up arguing. And so once they kind of calm down, the sister lets him know the house rules. And so it was weird because like the next scene that shows Harry talking about, he says he may have to put his freedom at risk, and I'm like, just follow your sister's house rules. You know, try to get a job. I get it. It'll be hard for him to get a job. Try to get a job and just try to live on the straight and narrow. You got your sister here willing to help you and your girl and her child. All right. So we see Harry goes and hangs out with one of his friends. And then Indy was kind of getting on my nerves in this scene because she just kept talking super loud. And it was just, I don't know, it was just, she was being annoying to me. All right. So once they get inside, his friend asks about Indy. And so Harry says they have some things that they need to work on. And so as soon as she said that, I was like, Indy needs to be in this room hearing this. Maybe this will snap her out of this whole mind fog she's in, right? And so Harry says that things with him and Indy are overwhelming. He says that she's expecting too much, which we've said before. He's young. You're expecting a lot from him, especially him just getting out of prison and he was locked up at a young age. All right, so it is overwhelming. He says, I said that she is expecting too much, and he admits to his friend that he cheated on her while he was in the halfway house. So it must have been with somebody there at that halfway house. That's the way it kind of sounded like to me. All right, and then he also says something that's interesting. I felt like guys might think this way sometimes, but it kind of confirmed it for me. He says that he cheated her in the halfway house, and he wonders why she keeps stay around. I've always wondered if guys thought that, like when they mistreat us in a way where they just keep doing it, if we just keep staying, do they ever wonder like why is she staying around? But that was just a thought that I had. Alrighty, and says, so his friend was kind of asking him like, what does he want to do and stuff, and then he did bring up the fact that her daughter calls him Poppy Daddy. So I feel like that name Poppy Daddy had to been something that possibly came from him, but for him, he didn't. I will say this: he didn't say he didn't like her calling him that, but it was brought up, so it makes me feel like maybe you might feel some kind of way a little bit, because otherwise, why would you have brought it up if you were just totally cool with it? And he says sometimes he just wants to run. All right, any thoughts on Indy and Harry this week?
So many.
Okay.
um oh, I don't even know where to start. I think when he was arguing with his sister, it really showed his age. And
Right.
Indy, for me, as much as I would have enjoyed the sex, I guess, when I saw that, I'd have been like, this dude is too young for me. He is
Right.
so young acting. And the
Yes.
whole argument with his sister, and the fact that he couldn't even express himself. The problem of what he said before was that his family never came and visited him at all. So
Yeah.
why is it that you think after coming out of jail, I want to spend time with you when you didn't even try and spend time with me in jail?
Mhm.
That's a huge question, and that's a
Yeah.
valid reason why you weren't ready to come home and see everybody. I get it, but you couldn't even verbalize that to the people who hurt you.
Right.
Um, he kind of gives you this sob story to make you feel bad for him, but then when he acts like that, it's like, okay, were they not there for you, or they just weren't there for you in the way you wanted them to be?
Right. I
Like,
want to jump in and piggyback on what you just said because he says things like that. You made a very good point throughout his conversation, like with his sister. Like he was saying, I know how to live with killers. I know how to live with two and three and four people in the room. So since you know this, listen and hear out what your sister is saying to you. In order to be able to live with multiple people and live like that, you have to listen sometimes. But it's like he wasn't listening. But you are very right with what you just said. That was a good point.
yeah, he's and her hearing all that, and then when he was so mad and he told them to get out the way, the little girl was right there, and I couldn't tell if that was her little girl or if that was the niece or nephew that was in the hallway that he kind of just pushed through,
Yeah.
and I was like, see, right there, that should have been, you know what, I did this too soon. I need to go back home because this is not going to work for me. I can't sit here and listen to them fight every day. He's obviously not going to listen to the rules. I can't do this. I got to go.
Yeah.
So then when she drove him to his friend's house And she kept saying, "No women, no hoes up in here, no hoes." I was like, okay. And then she was just annoying with that. And he again showed how young he is when he sat there and he told that guy that it's overwhelming. Yeah, it is overwhelming.
Yeah,
Um, I do believe he does have an issue with being called Poppy Daddy. I don't think he told her to call him that. That was totally indie. I think she
yeah,
came up with that
probably,
name. And
probably,
then and he just didn't know how to tell her, no, don't call me that, without hurting the little girl's feelings, because that's another thing. The pressure's on the child, not so much on him or her or Indy. Indy probably said, call him Poppy Daddy and see what he says. And he was probably like, oh, okay. How do you tell a kid who's 4, who's excited
right.
calling you
Not to
that,
call
don't
you
call me
Poppy
that?
Daddy.
That's a parent thing. Like the mom should have said, you know what, maybe he's not ready for that. Let's not do that. Or she should have had the conversation with him first. Hey,
Right,
is it okay if my child calls you this, because I'm not sure what she needs to call you? And he could have said,
right.
no, let her call me Harry, or she can call me Mr. H, or whatever the case may be. But let
Yeah,
him decide what to be called, not you force it down his throat. And when he said he wants to run, I don't blame him. I'd want to run too. He doesn't know what
yeah.
he wants. He knows he loves her, but he's too young to make up this mind that he wants this pre-made family, or that he even wants to deal with all that, because he has so much other stuff. Like he told her, I'm going to be on probation for 15 years. They can tell me whatever the hell they want to tell me, and I have to do it.
Yes, yes, that is very true. It's like she wasn't getting it. She was like, "Well, that probation officer can't tell you you can't live with me," and he's like, "Yes, he can."
Yes, he
And
can.
she's like, "Is he saying we can't live together?" And he said, "That's exactly what he said, and that's exactly what that man said." So it makes me kind of wonder. Maybe, I mean, Harry has been hesitant with her at times, but she just don't take
She
it.
ain't
She just
listening.
because here's a probation officer that can snatch that man and put him in jail or in the halfway house again, and you're not even listening to what that man is saying.
Right. And then when he said he did sleep with somebody in the halfway house, I was like, so halfway houses are co-ed? Because then I was like, or did he sleep with a man? Because I was confused.
I think the halfway houses are co-ed, I believe.
Yeah, they co-ed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because remember, Egypt had told us that one time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
right,
I
she
forgot about
did.
that.
So they're
Hmm.
on the opposite sides or something. But anyway, so when he said that, at first I kind of started going crazy about that thought. I was like, now he's fighting with his sexuality. So he don't know what he wants.
You so funny.
Leave that man alone. And as if I am Indy and I'm watching that and I'm watching what he's saying to his friends, I'm leaving. He's not ready.
Yeah,
I'm going. Don't waste
yeah,
your time anymore. He's not ready. And
yeah.
15 years is a long time to dedicate yourself to somebody who ain't ready, who's young acting, who likes to sit there and throw temper tantrums because he's not getting his way. And I don't know how you have time for that.
Right.
Your
Very
4-year old didn't throw temper tantrums the way he did.
right. But one thing that I thought was cute out of their scenes was when her little girl asked Harry to dance with her. I
Hmm.
did think that scene was cute, but at the same token, he's not ready. Like what you said, he's really not.
That's
He
a
is.
moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I don't think he has any intent on hurting that little girl. But
yeah.
it's really in all of how Indy is throwing the little girl on him to be this responsible dad to her. And
Right,
that wasn't his place. And it's not his place. And you should let it just happen naturally.
right.
So that was
Absolutely.
just crazy. Their whole thing, I was just like, but when he started yelling and screaming at his sister like that, I said, that man has not changed. He has
No,
not
he had at
changed.
all. And it was crazy that she had to remind him because he was like, "So is it okay for you to yell and scream at me?" She's like, "This is my house." And it's like, but I don't think he's still quite. He did calm down, but I don't think he still caught the fact that you're in your sister's home disrespecting her by yelling at her. You need to calm that down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And when the mom gets in his car, I hope it's for her to just tell him, just end it and send her back. Because there's really nothing to confront him on as far as his of what he's doing. I mean,
Yeah,
Indy's accepting it. So I hope it's for her to just tell him, just end it, please, and send my
Yeah,
daughter
and then
back.
on top of that, this is something else that I noticed. You remember how Andy went so hard in the paint that people change, and then when he was in his confessional, he was like, "Yeah, I know I committed a crime, but I forgot how he worded it. He wasn't even taking responsibility for what he did."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "See, and you've been riding hard on him, like." Well, people change, and I'm not trying to say people don't change, but when you open your mouth to defend somebody, you should be doing that for somebody that you know it's taking responsibility for what they've done.
Right. And then, too, the fact that Indy apologized. It wasn't for you to apologize. You were trying to get him home.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
took some of that. Yeah, she took the responsibility for some of what he did.
he did. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Sean, you got any thoughts? I thought I saw your hand for a second.
Yeah. Uh, okay, Johnny. Let me see your face, Johnny dear.
Uh oh.
This is what um I forgot the boy name.
I'm like,
Harry.
hmm.
Harry. Harry. Okay, this is what Harry should have did. Harry should have looked at the baby girl just like I'm looking at you, and say, "Look here, sweetie. It's nice that you calling me Papa Daddy, but I'm not your daddy. You know, so you can call me inmate 74532. Okay? All right, sweetie. We
She
got that
is
under control.
4.
Hey,
No.
hey, it doesn't matter, sweetie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm inmate
No.
seven. I ain't no inmate. Practice with me. Inmate seven four
Inmate.
three two eight. 74328.
That's too many numbers, Papa Daddy, but I'll try.
I just told you, girl. I just told you no Papa Daddy. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh,
Go find your
God.
real daddy. Call you. Put your mom on the phone. Put your mom on the phone. See,
That's
and
crazy.
scene and scene. That's it. That's
That's
all.
it. That's all he should have
That's
done.
it. Yeah, that's all you had to do. That's how you handle it. That's how you handle
No.
it. So what? The girl gonna have some issues later on down the road. He ain't calling me Papa Daddy no more.
Oh,
So
gosh.
that's all he had to do. He had to just come clean and be like, look here now. Talk to the mom and tell the mama, we got to really work on some things before, your mama, before you let your daughter call me that.
Right.
Because I'm not a father and I don't want to confuse her. And I'm pretty sure Indy would be like, well, I'm not going to send you the next check that you wanted me to send you.
Right.
Be like, okay, no
Look,
problem. She
he's
can call
like,
me
I
Papa
will
Daddy.
be withholding this week's check.
Yeah. And let you
Mhm.
think about that.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, well, okay, I thought about it. She can call me Papa Daddy.
Look, and then she would have ran off to her psychic, like, should I withhold this week's allowance to
Uh,
Harry? Because he doesn't want to be called
uh,
Puppy Daddy.
Well, that what I probably asked her too. Did your psychic tell you to let your daughter call me Papa Daddy? Because she already know that I'm gonna be cheating on you in the future. So,
Okay, so Sean, this was something else that I noticed in the scene too that
uh,
kind of bothered me. I'm gonna see if you
mhm.
feel the same way. So since they were out until 3 a.m., she had just left her daughter with people she didn't know from
Yes,
midnight till 3 in the morning. What did you think about
yes.
that?
Yes, I was going to bring that up because that right there is, I think that's the reason why she should have to apologize to the sister,
Mm,
saying that I'm sorry because, I was out so long and I just left you watching my kid like that.
mm-hmm.
And then on the other hand, she should have told Harry, hey, we got to get back because, your sister and your mom is watching my daughter. And
Yeah.
I don't want to just leave her there that long without me being there because I just got here a couple of hours ago and I don't want to mess up things, with mess up the relationship between me and your sister. Then that way she'll see, because I'm pretty sure his immature self would have been like, no, I promised my boys I was gonna give them some burgers. When
And
he
then
could
that's her red flag that he's gonna put his boys before his family.
right, right.
Yeah.
But she wanted to have sex first before she
Right.
decide because if the sex is good, she will stay,
Yeah.
no matter what the situation was. Because how she's sitting up there talking about how good it was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is, if they wouldn't have went to the hotel, but before I get to getting that far, she took money out of her savings to pay for that nice hotel. That hotel was nice.
Yeah,
But
that one was nice.
yeah, but when you bring your family up here, y'all staying at the hotel that y'all done saw from a far distance off the highway. You know what I'm saying? Because you got all them nice hotels on the highway strip, and you done look past all of them and see that one way down there by the river, and the river is dry. You know, the river is not even a river; it's a sewage dump. But that's the one you want to go stay with your family. But you're gonna make sure you spending all that money in a nice fancy hotel with your man. Uh,
Yeah,
but which could have been avoided if y'all would have stayed at the house. Now, if you'd have stayed at the house, where y'all was gonna have sex at? Because the little girl was gonna be sleeping in the bed with him.
yeah. But did you catch when she said his sister didn't say we can't have sex, so we can have sex at the house? But I was thinking that when she was saying that, like, but where's your daughter gonna be
Right,
when you do?
right. And speaking of house, I think last week or the week before last, when we was on, I think Johnny had pointed out that that wasn't the same place that old girl was staying in, the
Hmm.
apartment. I went back and I looked in the apartment, and that's a house. That is two different places.
Yeah,
So
so then
I
she
was
must
like,
have moved. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay then, yeah. But how? I don't know. Maybe somebody gave her a little extra money, to get into that spot. Who knows? But it was a different place, and because to me, she should have been saving her money, not the sister. Indy should have been saving her money to find her place, and maybe they could have moved into that apartment because that apartment she said was like five something.
yeah,
So that money from that hotel for one night, and that hotel looked real nice. And being up there in Ohio, I'm pretty sure for one night it was well, with today's inflation, it probably was like $129. So for one night, she could have saved that money. And then those burgers that they bought, depends on how many burgers that was, that probably was a good 20 to 30 bucks right there. That's half a rent. She could have used that money for something else instead of wasting it on them right
mm,
there. On your future, put it towards your future. Now, the apology that old boy gave, I'm sorry. No, no, you want me to apologize, so I'm only going to say I'm sorry because I know that's what you want. I was
Yeah.
like, come on, dude, for real. Because the night before, talking about, I got two reasons why I'm not going to apologize. One, I'm not wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And two, I didn't do anything wrong. I was like, okay, you're all about yourself. And you want people to
yeah,
tend to him because in that confession, he's talking about, I just got out of prison and I thought everybody would be all about me, and helping me to be comfortable and all that type of stuff. I don't know what episode of people coming out of prison he was watching to think that
mm,
once you get out, everything's going to be all about you. No, you have to make the adjustments to
right.
life. And you've been living with prisoners and all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's easy to stay with prisoners when you know that that prisoner is not for your good. So the only thing you got to do is watch your back, and you probably have your knife. You can jig somebody or jug them.
Yeah, have his shank ready. Hmm.
Right. So when they do something wrong, now you out there with your sister, you can't do that. You have to communicate and get things, solve problems through words, and through communication and not just basically action. So yeah, it's going to be difficult because you live in two different environments, but it's up to him to make the adjustments. And then when he was talking about in his confession again, uh, after she laid down the rules and they show his confession part, he's saying how he don't think that he's going. Well, he think that he might have to do something that's going to cause him to jeopardize his freedom. So and I was like, okay, dude, you really ain't ready for the outside world. Because you just got out of prison, and instead of contacting your parole officer, you have the mindset that you already might have to do something to put yourself back in, instead of trying to do whatever you got to do to stay
Yeah,
out. You know,
right.
yeah. And the parole officer thing, when the guy called and called her a pen pal, and she was
Hmm.
more upset about that than the fact that there's a possibility that he might be going back to a halfway house. Like, how I'm a pen pal? I didn't think that when you had said that it might have been someone else that the PO was
Yeah, I didn't
referring
think
to.
that either.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, oh, that's something right there. And then the other thing too was that he used that as an opportunity to try to get her to leave because he was like, yeah, the parole officer,
I ain't think about that
yeah,
way.
yeah, the parole officer can tell me who we can stay with, who I can stay with. He said, I can't stay with you. I was like, those wasn't his exact words. He twists that to what he trying to manipulate to where it can be the parole officer's fault for them to split up.
Oh,
But her, she ain't playing that, so it didn't take, you know. But
Mm,
uh but yes, I think that was his way out. And his mind was just going, it's like, yeah, this is my way out. I gotta get up out of this shit thing. And I can use him as my scapegoat. And then that way I'm not the bad guy. Because and then when you fast forward to that night when he was saying that he was ready to run, I agree with Johnny. Yeah, he is very immature and that whole thing is overwhelming, and he's not ready to tie down. He is in love with her, and he's probably in love with the ideal of being in love with her, and he probably have all these feelings and his stuff towards her, and he, like
mhm.
he said, he really don't want to mess it up with her, but he knows for him deep down himself he's not ready, and he's not fit
Yeah.
in the relationship.
And I think it's just like her and her situation is too much. Now, maybe if it was just her and she didn't have a kid, maybe that would be a little bit easier for him, considering the fact that, he went in when he was young. He hasn't dated. Well, I don't know, but I'm assuming he hasn't, had to live with a child before and stuff like that. And then going from single to being involved with somebody with kids. And, she wants more kids. She wants to get married. So she wants a lot of things that it's probably just too much for him right now. I do believe he has feelings for her, but I think right now her situation is too much for him. I'm not saying that it's too much for everybody, but for him, it may be a bit too much.
Hmm. And two, I think he wouldn't mind waiting, because he's like,
Hmm.
she wants to get married next week.
Yeah.
And I think he wouldn't mind waiting a month, well, waiting a year or two
Hmm.
before he settled down with her, thing. And then back to the argument in the house with his sister and how he walked away and he told little girl to move.
Mm.
Uh, that right there was a big red flag for me
mhm.
because even if it was his niece, nephew, or Indy's daughter, it was Indy because Indy was standing right there, and
Right.
he said move, and
Yeah,
that
and
could have
Indy
been.
was crying. I don't know if y'all noticed that. She was crying when she was over there.
Hmm. So that goes directly to her to where she'd be like, okay, you saw the night before he was tripping, and you seen how their relationship is, the sister, and everybody don't have that same type of family tightness that you have, and
Mhm.
she's getting a dose of reality as seeing that your family is close and do everything together. Don't mean that everybody else's family is like that, and
Right.
that she can't depend on his family to help her with her situation because oh boy, already act like he can't depend on him, and he's acting like he wants to distance himself from them because he wants to do his own thing, as well. So, so yeah, it's like there's a lot of red flags with their situation too, but she needs to see them as well as he already sees them, but he just needs to step up and say, "Hey, I'm not ready for this," and then he
Right.
can just leave because that would just solve his issue. But her, on the other hand, I think she's willing to stay and try to work everything through everything because that's what she really wants, and she's going to give up everything to be with what she really wants. So yeah. And then the other thing that kind of because it's staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, and how the sister was there holding the baby. And then when they came in the house, she took the baby and put him on the sofa, and then she walks away. At first, because I watched it twice, the first time I watched it, I thought, okay, is that Indy's child that she's throwing on the sofa? And it's like, no, that wasn't, because Indy's child is a little bit bigger. So why would you throw your kid on the sofa and then you go to bed? So I was like, that didn't make any sense to me on that whole deal thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's a whole lot of drama with that, them two folks, well, that whole situation. And we ain't even brought in the mom and the other sister yet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, y'all pretty much covered it. I agree with everything y'all said. I mean, she was annoying me at that house when she was yelling, like Johnny said, that whole little don't cheat, don't have no girls and this and that. I'm like, yeah, she kind of immature too, but he's super not ready for the level of commitment that she wants. I think if she respects it and kind of back off a little bit, excuse me, they might be all right. They might. You might have to cheat a little bit, and she probably deal with some more of that drama. But, um, yeah. And then with the cheating in the halfway house, I thought it was one of the girls from the picture because he said she caught him. So I assumed it was one of those, but I guess maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, they're already doing all this other stuff in the halfway house. I guess she could have taken videos
Mm-hmm.
in there and sent them. I guess I don't know.
Trying to entice him, like, come on over here to the girls' side. Look what I
Yeah,
for you.
And then my other thing too, where was he getting all these? Like he constantly had a bottle to drink. Like where was he getting all this alcohol from?
well, the guy gave him the bottle
Yeah, because
at
it
the
looked like he
house.
had Remy at the house. Yeah, that he was sipping on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
think.
then when he was at the sister's house, he had a bottle.
I
And
guess
I'm
I'm
he
like,
like,
got it
this
from the
dude
sis,
sister.
at the
you
halfway
know,
house, he had a bottle. I'm
but you
like,
know,
this dude
before
stay with a
Indy
bottle.
left to go pick him up, she was like, "So what are we gonna be doing? Just drinking and eating?" So they, I guess, had liquor in there.
She must have bought him some.
I'm like, that dude stay with a bottle. I'm like, good grief. Every time you
That's
Yeah.
get
another
mad,
sign. He is not
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
ready.
And then
yeah,
also, will he still have his license even though he went to jail?
yeah, because he was
yeah. I
driving.
thought about that. Yeah, he was driving. Well, I don't know because Chance had to get a new license. So I don't know. I think they get to keep him though. I think, but I don't know. That's
I guess if
weird.
it hadn't expired, but I would think it would have expired in 5 years. Or do they
Depending on where
start the
you
process
at.
when they're in the halfway house to get it?
Could have.
Yeah, he could have gotten it while he was in the halfway house.
Yeah,
I don't know.
good
But
question.
yeah,
Because I
that
kind of did a double take when he started driving the car. I was like,
yeah. Yeah, like I'm getting my homeboys these burgers now. Move. I was like,
yeah, like,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I was
Like,
like,
hey,
what
this
the?
happened no matter what. But
Yeah,
yeah,
when
this
I
is
saw
an
him,
episode of red flags, huh? Because
yes,
it's
that's
always
what
a
it should
thing.
have been named instead of "Don't Track Me." It should have been named "Red
Yeah,
Flag."
because it was only one person talking about tracking, so it should have been red flags.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, y'all covered everything on that one. I'm just waiting to see like how this really goes because she's still to me living in a fantasy world, and he's like coming out of it now that reality is hitting. Like he's like, wait, I really ain't ready for all this.
Mhm.
Um. Oh, one other thing before we go to the next people. Did y'all see how they fully stocked the refrigerator? I'm like, what? Y'all were
Oh,
only
at the
there supposed to
hotel.
be there. They were only supposed to be there one night, and then they had to figure it out. But I'm like, you got money to keep staying for long term? Because I was like, dude, that hotel refrigerator, they stocked it. Looked like they was unpacking more groceries. I'm like, and then they were like, oh, we gotta go back to the sister's house. Like he knew where he paroled. He knew he wasn't gonna be able to stay there long term. I was like, so is she gonna stay while he goes back to? I just didn't understand why they stocked the refrigerator. Like you were there
I
for
didn't
one
even
night.
notice that.
I noticed that they had a lot of groceries, but
Yeah,
I was just like, I didn't quite understand because there was a lot of bags on that countertop.
yeah, and they had put a
But
lot of stuff in the freezer.
But it
but
could
I
have been
didn't
that they
notice. Yeah, what was in.
they could have been planning to stay there longer. And we people, the producers, like, okay, we need to tell your parole officer. They
Yeah,
called the parole officer
yeah,
and
they
told
sure
the
did.
parole officer that he was staying with the pen pal. And then the parole officer like, oh no, that ain't gonna happen. So the parole officer had called the sister and like, where you at? Where he at? And then the sister had to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense because I was wondering how did the parole officer know about a pen pal unless you're just close to your parole officer and you did this.
Yeah,
Um,
no, you're
so yeah,
right.
so that would make sense.
He totally snitched on him. That we totally set that up.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Because
Cause
doing
yeah,
a
they
way
ain't got
more
all them
better
groceries.
setting up on these episodes. I have to admit, because some of that stuff doesn't make sense. How well outside of the crazy chick knowing where Pimp Daddy was, but all the other stuff does kind of doesn't make sense. Like you said, if she was running the car the whole time, how all of a sudden did the battery die, or just the random things that we've been noticing lately.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, because they can't get those camera men inside of the hotel, so
Hmm.
it's like, nah, this ain't gonna work, player. We done gave you
Yeah,
everything.
look, and then they needed to push Harry and Lydia back together so they could fight some more. Because
Mm.
Harry was probably, I ain't calling my sister. Lydia probably like, I ain't calling him. So,
Yeah.
oh well, we'll make y'all talk and argue. We're gonna force the situation.
Yeah, let's contact our parole officer.
Hmm. Yep. Yes,
And then,
absolutely.
one other thing too was they talk about the whole having sex, but even when she was gonna move down there, she was only gonna get a 1 bedroom apartment. So it's like, no matter what, I don't understand how they were ever gonna have sex, because you were never gonna separate that girl from the bedroom, the little
Yeah.
girl from the bedroom. Whether she
No,
was staying
I
with
think
sister,
she's
her
one of those
own,
that puts her kid on the couch.
I
Let
Well,
her
the
guess.
kid.
little girl, but then she also said that the little girl was on the pull-out couch when they went into the bathroom. So she was
Hmm.
probably gonna get a one bedroom and have her on the couch.
Yeah.
Yes, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Which,
And
yeah.
1 bedroom stuff only work if you the single mom and ain't got no boyfriend or nothing.
Yeah, or if you're a single mom that just gives your bedroom to your kid and then you hunch on the
You sleep
couch.
on the couch. Yep.
Yeah, or get you a nice air mattress and hunch on that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I like, as soon as you have that kid, you no less than a 2 bedroom at this point. Unless, like I said, you don't have a man and the little girl sleeping with you. But if not, if you're gonna have a man, then no less than a 2 bedroom.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So our next couple was Lacey and Antoine. Um. Okay. So we see that Lacey is meeting up with Antoine's mom. I don't know why I didn't catch her name. If y'all caught her name, tell me what her name is. Okay. So she's sitting
Let's
at this
just call her
restaurant.
Gail. She looked like a Gail.
Look like a Yale teacher. Okay. She could be Gail. Okay. We're gonna call her Mama Gail. All
Mama
right.
Gail.
All right, yeah. So Mama Gail, she's sitting at this restaurant, and I forgot. Oh, it was like the Cabbage Patch something restaurant. I was
Hmm.
like, huh? Okay, interesting
It,
name.
it kind of. Have you ever been to the restaurant downtown in Atlanta? Uh, Dang it! It just came to me. It'll come to me. Go ahead.
Um, hey, so
That's
she's
what it reminded me of.
yeah, so she's sitting in this restaurant waiting for Lacey to show up. So, but it's clear, Mama Gail
So
is
what?
to the wind.
She
She
litty.
tore up. Yeah, yes. So she's tore up. She's feeling good. And so Lacey comes in, and I don't know, something about Lacey kind of irks me. I don't kind of particularly like her. I don't know why, because she hasn't done anything, but I don't care for her character. And so she walks in, she can see the mom is drunk. And then I felt like she was being a little patient. She was like, "Oh, I'll have a tall glass of water." I'm like, I'm not saying that she needed to be drinking right along with her, but I felt like she was kind of making a little shot at her. But she could tell she was drunk. All right. And so Mama Gail asked Lacey, she's like, "So what are your plans with Antoine?" Which to me, I was like, why is she asking this right now? Shouldn't she have asked her this when they first started dating? Like, what are your plans with my son? So then you can figure out whether you're going to be upset or not about this situation. But now it's been how long now? And you're just now asking her what is her plans with your son? But I don't know. All right. And so, Lacey is trying to talk to her about it. And Mama Gail tells her she's naive. She's like, you're naive. You're naive like all the other girls. And she just starts kind of going in on Lacey. And so she starts raising her voice at Lacey. So Lacey gets up, she wants to leave, which is understandable. Who wants to sit there and be yelled at and talked to like that? She's like, I know my son, which that's true. You may know your son and you may know what he's up to, but you don't need to talk to that woman like that. And so she starts raising her voice. Lacey's like, I'm leaving. And she's like, well, why won't you sit down and just have a discussion? Because you're not having no discussion with her. You're talking down to her and you're not being very nice to her right now. And so Grace, like I said, Lacey leaves and Mama Gail, she's just super drunk. She can barely get the fork in her mouth, and she's just like, when he comes home, he's coming home to Mama. I was like, girl, somebody call her Uber right now and get her some food to put on her stomach to absorb some of that liquor. So, what were y'all thoughts on Lacey and Mama Gail and Antoine?
You know what?
Uh-huh.
Like early in the season, when in the season, that's third episode. So earlier, and she was like, "Well, your mom's always drunk and blah blah." Like at first, I was like, "That's messed up." Like
Yeah, I
I
did
felt
too.
like she was just
I thought
being extra. Like, okay, she been around her, she got drunk a couple times or whatever. Now you just making her like she's alcoholic. But when I saw that, as soon as they got to her scene, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to deal with her either. Like this chick, if that's how she is on a daily basis,
yeah,
I don't even know how she got to the restaurant. Like, I
yeah,
hope she didn't drive herself because it's like this chick was so toe up. I
yeah,
couldn't even get past none of the rest of the like anything she had to even say to the woman because I was like, dude, you got your nerves to be that drunk, like, and you by yourself too?
yeah.
Like, who gets that drunk in public by themselves? Like,
But
take your
that
alcoholic butt
was
home.
kind of funny to me. Like she had ordered vodka and lemon, and I was like, "Girl, you already toe up. You don't need to do that. They need to
Yeah,
put some juice in there." And then when the drink came, I was like, "Oh, right there. It just looks like she's drinking water that she put some lemon juice into. Maybe that's why she ordered that drink, but I don't know. I could be wrong about
I don't know. I just know she was like, come on, have a drink, take a shot. And then she took a shot. I was like, girl, stop, stop, stop.
that. Yeah,
You've had enough. Why are they still serving you? Because like she was just
right.
like it looked like she could barely sit up. She was like,
Yeah, I
and
thought
I
she was
felt
gonna
like at
stab
that
herself with
point,
that fork when she was trying to eat. I was like, "Oh,
yeah, at that point, like now I feel like the restaurant's starting to become liable. Like you
yeah,
feeding her all this alcohol, and y'all see that she barely like she darn near looked like she about to be on the borderline of alcohol poisoning. I was
right,
like, dude, like she can't even she barely can function. But if this is just how she is on a daily, I guess. And now I 100% understand why she's like, I try to talk to your mom, but she's always drunk. She gets drunk, and I'm like, okay, that
But
ain't just
you
getting
know what?
drunk.
That's the
That's
other thing that kind of confused me because I'm like, if y'all were good friends, why don't you try to figure out what's going on with her? Because something going on. Why is she getting that drunk while she's out having dinner?
yeah,
Y'all were not at some nightclub. Y'all were at dinner at the Cabbage Patch Club or whatever that was.
yeah,
Um,
because
that was
that was a scary level of intoxication. Like when they showed
yeah.
her, like you could see in her face that she just was like,
I feel
I'm
like
like,
yeah. As
that's
soon as they
scary.
panned the camera on her, I was like, "Woo, she's drunk," and she
Yeah,
hadn't said a word. She was just sitting there, like you said,
yeah,
sipping her
wobbling like
shot.
just.
Mhm.
I thought
I
she
was
was
like,
tired.
No, she was drunk, girl. That was
And
drunk.
then she took a while before she drank that shot. So I was like, oh, she's not drunk yet.
Oh, she was. As
That,
soon as
that's
I
what
saw
I
her,
was
I said,
thinking too.
"Ooh."
I see.
Because I didn't think she was drunk. Me, I think maybe
Really?
that's just her personality. And that's just the way she talks.
what?
Now, when they had showed her, they only showed her with one glass of alcohol. Those other two glasses on the side is water and ice. Now
No, that
they
was
tried to make it
vodka and
seem
lemon juice.
no, 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 no. It was water and ice because when they came back to give her a refill on that second one, they put it in that small one, the vodka and the lemon juice and the lemon.
Oh, okay.
They did not touch that water and ice. That was the what you call it, sleight of hand on Bravo or WeTV. I'm sorry, that was a
Okay.
That
sleight
chick
of
was
hand.
drunk.
You know, she.
There was no like she was
Mm-mm.
slurring her words.
There was
Like
nothing
that's
sober
No.
not
about her.
tired.
She
Like
she could
she
have been
had
a
not
very
one bag
special.
under her eye.
She could have been
She
a
was
very
not
special
tired.
woman. She could have been a
No,
very special woman.
no. You
Yeah.
could
That
tell
I
like
think
and then
they wanted to make the appearance that she was drunk because the whole time that's all they showed, and that's all she only drunk was that one.
But
Right.
you
And
saw when
maybe
she went to go flip her hair and she almost fell out the chair. That wasn't. She wasn't drunk that day.
I guess she just
no,
so sleepy she just can't control herself. So
Yeah,
then they
that's
no,
just
keep
but
telling
tired,
her
girl.
letting her
I
have
was sleepy
well
like that the other night.
then they wrong for letting her have a
I
drink
can tell you,
and
I've
she's
been
that tired.
around a lot of
mm-mm,
drunks in my day.
Yeah.
She was drunk.
Yeah. That wasn't
mm-mm.
tired. That was drunk. Like
That was
Uh,
sleight of
literally.
hand. They got
No, no,
y'all.
no, no,
They
no. I
got
I
didn't
y'all.
think,
see
but
like
it
she
really
was
made me wonder, like when she said she introduced her, I don't think she introduced her with the thought she was going to be trying to hook up with her son.
yeah.
I think it was just, this is my son type
Hmm.
introduction. And I
Yeah,
think she
like one of your
violated her
coworkers or
friend.
something, and you're like, "Hey, it's Johnny," even though Johnny's not my coworker. But hey, Johnny, here goes my son. He's here from Florida. I think that's probably what it was. And it's like, wait a minute, you're dating my
Yeah,
son? You know.
I don't understand. And you don't even know him, and that's where I think she was trying to let her know what she was falling in for, because she was trying to let her know that he's seeing other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my thing is that granny, yes, mama was drunk.
Mhm.
But you know what they say? A drunk tongue speaks a sober mind.
Mhm.
So there was truth, I believe, in what the mom was saying to her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
No, she was not drunk.
Oh
She
my
was
god.
being honest because she cared about her friend. She
Yeah, she
wanted to
Uh,
was
let her
being honest to
friend
her
know.
friend.
That's all that was. She said,
yes,
"Hey,
she
buddy,
was
You never
drunk.
been around drunk people, huh?
partner,
She was drunk
homie,"
and she would
You
not have
never been around
passed
drunk people,
a
have you?
road test if she got pulled over.
She wouldn't
and
have.
that's why I don't have to be. Well, I have been around drunk folks, and drunk people don't always act that way, you know.
No, and
And
that's what I'm saying. Like
she,
she was scary
that's why.
drunk. Like
No, she
literally,
was not
the
scary.
level of drunk she it
She
was
had
looking almost
her
like
right
alcohol
sense of
poisoning.
mind. She knew exactly what she was. She knew exactly what to
Look,
order.
if that
Because she
wasn't
ordered,
scary
she was in
drunk,
her
I
mind.
hate to see what scary drunk is. Because
That's not
she had
scary
no
drunk.
business driving. Because she
That's not
couldn't
scary
even eat.
drunk.
So why was
Yes,
she
she
doing
did.
this?
The fork went straight into her hand. Maybe that's the way. Oh well, have you ever seen people that eat like this here and they hold the fork and they'll do all that? Would you think that individual is drunk?
But no, but
Would
it
you
was
think
like she
that
was
individual
struggling
is
to get.
unstable?
It looked like it was maybe some what do you call it, chicken salad? Because
Yeah, she could have had
I,
arthritis in her hand. It
I
was hard
think
for her to
Yeah, she
oh
grab.
was
okay, it's
tired.
arthritis now. Okay,
Huh?
Oh
She
my
could have had
god,
it is.
arthritis
y'all
in
are
Sorry,
her
she's
like.
tired,
I
huh?
hope y'all are just saying this just to say it and not
I feel
being
hand.
like they're
serious. Because
trolling
y'all
us.
really believe
She's
that
not.
she's
She's
just
not
Seriously, they're
serious.
tired.
trolling us. That's what's going
Yeah, I
on.
really do feel. I feel
That
like that y'all
woman,
trolling right now.
she cared about her friend, and she was trying to let her friend know, "Hey, this is not right for you. I'm
You
giving you
trolling
fair
right now, right?
warning. I'm giving you
Are
fair
you
warning.
really being serious?
I'm giving you fair warning. This is not what you want. You do not want my
You
son.
don't want my son.
Yeah, and I'm letting you know because Mama
I
knows,
I
think
love my son and I love tequila. That's what I
and
got from that.
it's
She
she
got
not
vodka.
tequila. There you go. It's vodka. And see now who's the drunk one?
She
You don't know the
Oh, so
difference
no,
between
I'm drunk.
the
I'm drunk
difference between
now.
tequila and vodka.
Look, because I
That
didn't know
woman
my
knew what she
liquors. I'm
wanted.
drunk now. I'm drunk
What
now because I didn't know my liquors.
you just I bet if I was to ask you to spell
she is
tequila, you
straight
say
trolling. Like I
G-O-D.
can't even
Mm,
right now.
huh?
What'd you
Spell
say?
You
I
G
gotta be.
spell.
Are you
P
being
O
serious?
D K A. That's how you spell the tequila, huh?
Are you being
Mhm.
serious?
That woman was not drunk.
I hope. Are you being? Are you for real? You really don't believe
Yes,
she was
I'm
drunk?
serious. That woman was not drunk.
He
That woman was
trolling
not
us.
drunk.
This has got to be trolling. Like, where's Ashton? He's gonna jump out and say you got
No.
punked, right? Like, literally.
Mm. She knew
Did
her
we not watch
son.
the same clip?
That
Look, no,
obviously we
you
did
know
not
what?
watch
This
the
clip
same.
right here is going to be on an episode of Ridiculousness.
Yeah, it
Mm-mm.
is.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it is. This is gonna be on
Yeah,
ridiculousness.
it is. It's gonna be because the way Lacey was acting. She done played it up. She
Oh, was
done
Lacey
played the
the
role.
drunk? Oh,
No,
okay.
she the one that played the role. She got everybody
No,
that
so
watches the show thinking that that woman is a drunk.
what I believe is that because of her saying that, now mind you, she might not be this way every day, but I think we TV people was in there feeding her alcohol before old girl got there.
Hmm.
And then when it came down to it, like she's probably let's have a shot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they've been doing. They've been having shots.
Yeah, she
And
thought the
so
whole
when a
production
girl
was
comes
shots
in,
with her.
she like, oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
shoot, join in the shots. And then it's like, but you taking one by yourself. Now you look like a super alcoholic, and
Yeah,
you're the only drunk person. And here she is, like, no, I'll just have my water while you like sitting here like,
yeah.
ugh,
And I
ugh.
think production was being messy, and they
Yeah, I
told
think that's
Lacey that hey, she's in there drunk. So just to warn you. So then when she got in there and the whole conversation, she knew that her friend was drunk, and she knew I probably had a feeling her friend was going to be exposed to some truth, and she didn't want the friend to keep from talking. So she was like, you know what, I'm going to just leave because you're drunk. Which she was drunk, but
mhm,
I believe production set that up. Yes, I
I
do.
do too. Now that I can say I can go along with. I think production was feeding that girl alcohol to make her appear to be an alcoholic drunk. And then like she's just been sitting in there probably drinking all day long. And then when no girl comes in, it's like, yay, shots. But really, they've been doing that before the girl got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they only had the one glass, and I thought
Mhm.
when she drank that, I said, "Oh, she hadn't drank it yet." So
No,
I
she
did
was drunk
honestly. I thought
probably
she was
repeatedly.
tired till after she had the shot, because
Yeah.
it'll kick in a lot faster when you're
What makes
sleeping.
you why would she be tired? Like, why is it like
It
why
was
was that
late.
even
No,
You
I
know
bet
Yeah.
what?
she
I'll
worked
give this.
hard.
She might have looked a little tired because she had been day drinking and she was carrying it into the nighttime. So that would make
And
me
it
tired.
looked like she had been there for a while.
Hey,
So there's no telling
Because
but
how
I
Well,
long
think
yeah,
she
she
because
was
was
they've
there
been
for
drunk.
feeding her
waiting.
alcohol the whole
no, she
time.
Yeah.
said she finally got here, so she was there for a while waiting,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
she was
and
And she
that's
was
what
annoying.
drinking. Yeah,
it
she
yeah,
was
could have
she
been
drinking.
was drinking before our girl
way
got there.
past her bedtime. It could have
Oh
been
my
Yeah.
past her
god, the girl
bedtime. You
was
know,
That's
she
how
drunk
ain't
I
been
prior
felt
drinking.
last
too.
Saturday.
She was drunk prior too. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but okay, and if you were tired, you weren't doing this.
Yeah,
You
because she's
sure?
about to fall asleep. Y'all go
Like
back and
you can
watch
still
it.
comprehend, like even when you're
Mm-mm.
tired, like when you're tired, you just like, you
She
know,
didn't say
there's
anything
signs of
that.
being tired. Not like, look, you
And
don't
yeah, but in
know.
all honesty, what did she say that was wrong? She was asking
she,
her, "Do you know my son? Do
yeah,
you
She
she
know
never.
what
did.
his
I nobody
story
And
said she
that's
said
was?"
my
it
thing with
wrong.
the mom. I don't think the mom said anything wrong. I believe to be truthful, I believe the mom was speaking her truth and she was speaking truthful things
Yeah,
because she was drunk. So she was just being honest.
yeah.
I don't think she said anything wrong. And I do believe
Yeah,
there's truth in what she said. Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
and
trying to warn that girl before
Yeah,
she sits there and
yeah.
gets involved with her son. And
I
Yeah.
I
just
still
Now,
don't feel like
Lacey didn't
she,
want to hear it.
yeah,
Now, I will
she
say
did
Lacey
not
didn't
want,
want to hear it. And I think there's a reason why Lacey didn't want to hear it because she knew it was true. She knew
yeah,
what that mom
and
was saying was
she
true.
knew because that's why she sent that fake letter. She knows that
exactly.
he's doing something.
Mhm.
But and in addition to the fact that I don't think I really don't think the mom. I'm gonna stick with that. I don't think the mom did that as like I want you to hook up with my son. So
No.
I
Yeah,
think
I
she
don't believe
really
so
kind
either.
of jacked up that she's lost a friend, and she knows how her son is, and she's like, I'm trying to keep you from messing up your life.
Hmm.
Hmm.
No, I do agree with all that. Only thing, like I said, I think production was doing shots on her prior to a girl getting there,
Yeah.
and they was wrong for that because they knew that girl like can drink and hold down some alcohol without getting tired. I mean, without throwing up. So she knew that she would last and just was
Yeah.
sitting there looking drunk
And if
when the
she's
girl
choosing
got
to
there.
drunk, chances
And it
are there's something
appears,
going on in her life making her drink. And
yeah,
production probably knows exactly what that is. Maybe she just broke up with her old man. They're like, oh, you just went through a breakup? Oh, I know a great restaurant where we get some crab cakes. Come over here and let's have some drinks and crab cakes.
or they played into the fact that no girl said she likes to drink. So they were like,
Yeah.
oh, she likes to drink. Okay, cool. They got her drunk so that it can continue the storyline that she a drunk alcoholic. And it to me, she came off as alcoholic. If I didn't think about production maybe having a part in this, she appeared to be an alcoholic to me. But now that we've talked about it, I do believe
Yeah.
production set her up because it was random for her to be like shots. You know what I mean? Like when she's like, "Do you want to get a drink?" Shots. It's like she been doing that before a girl got there.
Yeah.
And you don't scream shots by yourself, so I'm sure somebody in production was drinking with her.
And then it looked like she was in a room by herself, like an event room or something, maybe. I don't, like a small party room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they had her in there liquoring her right on up, getting her good
Mm-hmm.
and ready.
Yep.
Hmm. They hit her.
But I hope somebody from production drove her home because that's messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope she was not in these streets driving. Um, okay, so any other thoughts on Lacey and oh my gosh, Antoine
And Mama Gail.
and Mama Gail? I forgot Mama Gail. Okay. Hey, so our last couple was Kayla and Martell. All right, so it picks back up with them at their hotel room. Martell, he still wants to be a little freaky. So he's like, do we have time for another quickie? And she's like, no, we got to get you to the halfway house. And so they head to Atlanta because I thought that was weird because I figured you had to do your halfway stint in the same state you were in. So he left Alabama because that's where he was in prison at, and he's going to do his halfway stint in Atlanta. All right, so Martell starts receiving calls on his cell phone. And it's crazy how word spreads, and clearly he's from a small area because the only number that was saved in that phone was Kayla's number. But I guess he called a couple of people and they passed on his number, then they passed on his number. And so he's getting all these calls, and you can see that Kayla's getting upset. All right. And then he gets a call from somebody named Tay. And Michaela wants him to put that call on speakerphone, but he won't. He said, this call don't need to be on speakerphone. And you can tell she's bothered by that. And so then she comes back and she tells him that she wants them to share their locations with each other. But he won't agree to that. He's like, no, he's been tracked for the last 13 years. He doesn't want to be tracked now, which I can totally understand now. Everything about his life has been tracked. And so they were supposed to have enough time to swing by and see Martell's mom and his niece, because he has a niece he's close to. But they ran out of time, and so they ended up pulling over to like a parking lot, and then the mom and the niece came there. So he got to see his mom and his niece, and they brought him some food. And the way he was eating it, I was like, man, that must be some good Alfredo you got there, because he was much down on that Alfredo. All righty, and so he okay, so finally somebody discussed like the financials. So he was saying that, he wasn't relying solely upon Kayla to give him money. He said that he had friends like from the streets or whatever who looked out for him financially. And then he did say he had some women friends who looked out for him. So I guess he's letting us know that Michaela wasn't, having to send him large amounts of money or whatever. And so also, something else I forgot to mention. Michaela finally revealed she has not gone the 13 years without sex. It's been a year and a half since like the last time she had sex. She doesn't say who that person was or if she's still in contact with that person. That I don't know. And so the scene ends with her dropping him off at the halfway house. So I want to know everyone's thoughts on Michaela and Martell this week.
I've been holding on to this since I watched this episode this morning.
Oh,
I just got to say this real quick, and y'all can start first. That man, when she said something about how good was it or the sex or whatever, and he had the nerve to say it was better than I expected. I was hot. This man ain't had sex for 15 years. The
yeah,
first person you have sex with, you tell him it was better than you had it expected. I was
yeah,
like, oh hell no. And
yeah,
they had slept together before.
yeah. They've
So
slept together.
you thought I wasn't good before? I would have been hot with that comment. I don't know. That would have just really irked me.
Yeah, that would have been something that would have irked me too. But who knows? Maybe she was lazy before, and now she's gotten a little bit better. She's not so
Now
lazy.
she's better because she's had practice. But
Oh,
still,
right.
but based on your thought process, right? As the man
Uh
who
huh.
told her not to sleep with anybody else. So
Right.
you knew she wasn't experienced or whatever. And then you sit there and you diss her about it? Like that was a sly diss. It was better than I expected. Because the last
Mhm.
time we had sex wasn't that great, but this time it
Yeah.
was actually pretty good. So was it the 15 years that made it good, or was it the fact that I've actually been sleeping with other people that made it good?
Yeah. She got some practice in.
I've been holding that in all morning. I was like, yeah, jackass. All
All
right, y'all
right.
go
So,
on.
anybody else want to weigh in on them?
Oh, well, if I'll finish then. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. The and the whole thing about that phone, if he wouldn't have been able to put it on speaker, then that means that's somebody you can't talk to around me. And therefore you need to go ahead and finish walking. Because as soon as he said what he said, because one, you disrespected her in front of the girl that you were on the phone with.
Yeah.
I would have been like, get out of my car then. You can't be on speaker, then get out. There is a reason why he can't be on speaker with this one girl. He was on speaker with all those other phone calls except for this one girl. And I wouldn't have been cool with that. And I'm
Right.
paying the phone bill. Who's paying the phone bill?
Well, we know she got to be doing it. Yeah.
Because she's the one who stored her number in it. She's the one who gave him the phone. So I don't think I would have been as passive as she was with that conversation. I think we would have started having an argument before he met his mama because, no. Or I would have been there was no or I would have been. It would have been a whole issue about the fact that you're on the phone with a female that you can't put on speaker. No, you don't need to hear this conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's let her hear the conversation we're about to have because, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him. I'm not too sure about how I feel about this relationship. but I don't like him.
Mm-mm. No, I agree.
You don't like Martell either?
Nah, he's shady. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, she wasn't honest about who she slept with, but obviously it sounds like he got a lot more to hide than what she does with this one person. And
Mm-hmm.
then I mean, I'm not a big put trackers on people's phone type stuff, but right now, I mean, what do you have to hide? Maybe that ain't necessary because that's kind of a trust issue type situation if you got to put a tracker on somebody's phone. But I mean, you're also tracking her location too, so it ain't like she's just tracking you. So
Yeah.
I
Now
don't know.
I'm gonna
I
see if y'all noticed this. It seemed like every time he answered the phone, it was like he knew immediately who he was talking to. Did
mm-hmm.
y'all not find that weird? If he doesn't have any number stored in his phone and he's picking up, "What's up, man? Yeah. What's up, Ed? Yeah." How does he know who it is calling?
Mm-hmm.
But
I wasn't sure if he did that because he caught their voice. But because what he did when he answered that girl's call, when he answered and you heard her at first, so I don't think he realized she was on speaker, and then he turned the speaker off. So then you didn't hear her anymore. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking he just knew the voices,
Maybe.
maybe.
and that's how he was able to say who they were.
Yeah.
And then too, I think in prison you kind of have to memorize people's phone numbers.
Oh, they have phone lists.
Yeah, like don't you have to dial people's numbers out?
No, you have phone lists. So once that person has been approved, then you put in like your stuff, and then I think it's like you press one for your mom or two for whoever else.
Oh, so they don't have to memorize phone numbers. I was gonna say if he's memorizing people's numbers, that's how he would know it too.
Yeah.
So
Or maybe he was just like, "Hey, man," because he's assuming it was a man, and then
it's a
he
man.
said was or something. I don't know.
Well, when he answered her call though, he just said, "Hey." He didn't say bro
Hmm.
or whatever. He just answered her call like, "Hey," and that's why her face is kind of like, "Well, who is that?" Because everyone had been, "What's up, man? How you been, man?" Da 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 da. And then with her, it was like, "Hey," and then you hear her, and then you hear him mute it or turn it off so he can have the private conversation.
Yeah.
And then they'll be laughing. So this chick is saying stuff, and he's laughing after he's checking me. Nah, I
Hmm.
would have been able to be quiet on that. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. And just the nerve of him to sit there and demand that you not do anything. And I'm glad that she did. I'm not knocking her for doing her thing while he's been locked up for 15 years.
Right.
But the thought that you could demand that of me and then come out and talk to people and feel like you don't have to tell me who you're talking to, mm-mm. That's just, mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
really have much else. I was just the tracker thing, like how he was just like, "No, I ain't doing it, I ain't doing it." But it's like, what do you got to hide?
And he's
That's what I'm
supposed to be in a
thinking.
halfway house for like six
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
So what
yeah.
So
do
what do
you
you
have
got
to
to hide?
hide? You in a halfway house for 6 months.
Hmm.
Well, Harry has shown us he could do a lot in that halfway house. He
Yeah,
could drink. He could smoke. He could sex. Oh yeah. Oh
but
no. It's
the
But
thing
it's in
is,
a halfway house. He ain't traveling to do it.
if he yeah, because I guess she could be like, you went in your room because your room, the dot your room is right here. You keep going to that other dot. What is that
yes.
dot right
He
there?
like,
Whose
look,
room is it?
I look. She's like, I know you over there on the girls' side. Get
You
back to the boys'
know,
side.
Yeah,
have the whole map of the halfway house. You in
yeah.
building two,
So
don't you got to be in building two?
yeah. You
Uh-huh.
so comfy over there. Like you stay after hours. I see you always tiptoe to that dot, that room. Nah,
Yep.
no.
Or I see you sneaking out to the yard after 9 o'clock. What's in the yard at 9 o'clock?
That's funny.
But I mean, it ain't like he gonna be able to hide who he talked to because she could, if she paid the
Yeah,
bill,
she can see.
she can see the numbers.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's got access to his cloud like Indy did.
Probably. My thing is, if you gave him the phone, like he ain't come out with it, you gave him that phone, then I would have put the tracker on it without. I wouldn't even have asked
I
him.
wouldn't have asked.
Tracker would already been on there.
But then too, that's another thing about that phone, unless it was a separate phone. Because like you said, Reese, how would people know the phone number to call?
Mhm.
It's not like you can have your calls forwarded from jail.
No.
Right. So that shows like whoever he was talking to, they were passing out the number. I'm thinking he's probably from a small area and where everybody talks, and they're probably, hey man, guess what? Martell is out. Here's his number. I just talked to him. Something like that. I can kind of see from being from a small area. Maybe that is what the situation is. Maybe.
Yeah, but
Um,
how would they have gotten the number? If she
well,
gave him
he
to him
called
out the
out first.
box, he
Yeah.
called out. Oh, he did call out first. You're right, he did.
Mm. All right. So Sean, what do you think about that? And do you think she should have just put the tracker on before she gave him the phone? Is that what you would have preferred?
Well, I would suggest to everyone that's dating, well, that's thinking about dating a prisoner,
Hmm.
to tune into Johnny's class on how to date a prisoner. Uh,
Oh Lord.
one, uh, class one would be track her on telephone before out of prison. Class two would be, and Nene and Reese, you all could be guest professors and stuff like that. Uh, Class on what is it? How to pick up your inmate from while you waiting on them.
No,
101.
I need to be in how to break up with your inmate.
Oh, you
Uh,
want to be the
I want to
breakup?
be in that class.
Oh, okay then
I'll
okay. You can
facilitate
be,
that class. Yeah,
all right. So is that 101 or 103 or 105?
we gonna call that one 2120.
2120.
That
Yeah.
advanced placement, huh?
Yes, it's
Mhm,
advanced placement.
mhm. So AP, huh? All right, so
Yeah.
because yeah, she should have. It was nice of her to ask, but
Okay, I'll
she
say that
should have
was good
just
enough,
went
but
on
I
and
would
just
have did
did
it
it.
if I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She just went on and did it. She just did it. Had it
Yeah.
on there, and then be like, "Hey, do you really want to? Do you mind if we would, track one another?" And if he say no,
Maybe
be
she
like, okay,
has.
yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
what you said is the reality.
Hmm. So,
Yeah,
and then be like, "Okay, well, I tried to, warn you and let you
and I
know that."
mean, I think she should have just did it because even he had said it in the car. He was like, "Man, I don't know how to use this phone, but I'm gonna figure it out." So he would have had to figure it out.
He
I
wouldn't
would
Yeah,
have
have
said
even
a
known
sign.
what the app was.
Yeah, I'd be sitting
right.
there eating my popcorn, watching him.
Yeah, I would have had it all kind of hidden in a
Mhm.
Give
folder.
I'm going to bed, babe. And all of a sudden his little dot just everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm. And then when he don't know where she's at, she can always say, "Well, hey, I asked you, did you want us to put trackers on each other's phone?" And you said no.
Mhm.
So, but he would never know that. If I was her, he would never know. But I gave you an opportunity to be equal, but you passed up on that. And then the my thing is when she was waiting for him, because she was in them high heels and talking about her feet hurt, and she had said the comment that she was out there waiting, and it's hard to wait out there with no panties on. Soon as she said that, the cameraman, the cameraman went from this angle and went all the way down and went down to the at angle.
Try
Now,
to.
I was like, okay, dude, you wrong for that now. You wrong for that. Because he was trying to see if he can get a peek, But she had it blocked off so nobody could see anything. So I was like, thought that was funny. Then the other thing, I thought it was bad at first when she had made the comment that she had sex a year and 8 months ago, and he shouldn't complain because at least she can say she had better practice or whatever she had said made her better. At first, I had a problem with it until you had broke it down about how he made the comment. It was better than I thought it was. So
Yeah.
that just scratched that out. I was like, okay, lady, good thing you did went out there and had sex because you was able to put practice so that you can live up to more than his expectation of someone that did not have sex for 13 to 15 years in prison, unless he was having sex, with some women was coming in, but who knows? Because what he's comparing it to, his imagination, or
Exactly.
maybe he was saying himself, thinking that he wasn't going to be that good.
Okay, so with that, I hate to jump backwards, but I think if I was Indy watching Harry reveal he had sex with somebody else and be like, oh, wait a minute. So you waited 6 years and then you gave it up to some floozy at the halfway house? You
Uh,
couldn't wait another however long it took her to get back there? Like,
No, but
yeah.
see, she got the fastness. I'd be like, thank
I
you
guess.
for you giving her 10 minutes and I got an hour.
Uh,
But see, that probably would have been my tip off once we got done in the bathroom. Like, wait a minute, now you need to tell me
I
how you
know you
were able to
lasted
go an
way
hour.
too long, baby.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's going to be Leslie tip off because she's going to be like, hey, there's supposed to be 2 pumps now. You
I
gave me
know,
four.
right?
You gave me 4 pumps. I mean,
You
right.
gave me 4. What's up with that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then too, once they had got to the spot and he had ate that food, the niece, his niece, seemed like she had a problem with old girl, because she said, "I really don't know how she is" and all that. There, I was thinking maybe the mother or the niece could have been one of the people that was giving out the cell phone, you know, and since it is a small
It's,
town,
yeah,
so
it is a
that's,
possibility. Yeah, they could have given out that number.
yeah. So, and two, also, I was thinking too, it's like, oh, he really do know all those people. I wonder if those were all women, and he just was saying, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" And all that type of stuff. But I
Well,
really,
he's on speakerphone, some of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
and yeah, so he what you call it? I don't think they're. I think they're gonna want it to. Well, they all gonna have issues, but to go back on one of the things with old girl, the twin, and
Taylor?
Chase, yeah, Taylor and Chase, because with their sex scene when they were in the closet and in the confession booth,
Oh, I
he was
know. I
talking
think I know
about,
where you're going.
yeah, because he was talking about in the confession booth, he didn't give her the best that he wanted to give her, but she did outstanding for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it was
She
in the
showed
bed,
out for him, but he couldn't
yeah,
do it, return a favor to her. So this
right.
would have been my thing. Like, why can't you return it? We in this closet. I figured out a way to give it to you.
He probably
Yeah.
couldn't hold it long enough.
Uh,
Maybe. There you go. Yes, maybe he couldn't.
I think
but
that's a good thing.
oh, so 2 minutes is good for you. Uh,
I feel like I must have done something right if you can't last 2 minutes in there.
uh, but when they got in the bed the next day, she was in the bed talking about, oh, this was the best thing
Mhm.
and he was saying, yeah, this was the best thing and all that type of stuff. So I thought that was funny. It went back to that moment. But yeah, that's all I got on them people.
Alrighty. So, any other thoughts on Martell and Michaela? All right. Well, then that's the end of this episode. I only have one real complaint. I wish they would go back to 1 hour episodes instead of this whole 120 or 130 minutes. That's like my only complaint about it. But I felt like this episode was better than the others. So I'm like, okay, we're getting some heat here. We got things going. Even though I was getting annoyed by certain stuff and certain people. Yeah.
They just need to cut the commercials. I think we're actually getting an hour of content, but it's like 45 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
Every time I pass through those commercials, they're like 4 or 5 minutes long. That's a
Yeah,
lot of commercials.
that is true. They have been playing a lot of commercials.
Keep the content, cut the damn commercials. You only need 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hell, Hulu's a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, and
They
I
need
am.
more than 2 minutes. They need more than 2 minutes.
Baby.
Remember?
Like, Sean taking offense. He does not approve of a 2 minute man.
He does not. First time 2 minutes, I'm okay. I didn't say forever.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, so that was the episode this week. So catch us next week for the next episode. I'm hoping it's just as good. I'm hoping that Rick gets treated a little bit better next episode. I really like Rick. I think he's a nice guy. But we shall see. Alrighty, and we don't have to see as much of Lacey. We don't have to. But I know there's people who are like watching her. Alrighty, so this is our episode for this week. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button on your way out. And again, catch us next Saturday for our recap. All right, so see you later. Until next time, friends. Bye.
Bye.